Everybody, and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. This circuit been on the calendar since 1950 and it's only ever missed one race. Legends have raced here, won here and have become world champions here. It is truly the temple of speed. Today, another 53 laps ahead of us around the Royal Park. We've got about an hour and 7 minutes until we get going, and this is just the beginning. Alongside me in the commentary box is Jess Ball and Josh T, and we will be hearing from them now as well. Good morning, Jess, or good afternoon I should say. Getting ready for race day. It's going to be a classic, and you're in the hot seat. You're hosting.
Yes, and I'm really excited about this one. Obviously, Ferrari got pole yesterday with Carlos Sainz. Luckily, he was allowed to keep it, so it was great news for them as well. Will they be able to keep the lead going into turn one? We'll find out on that one anyway.
Josh T's with us as well. Josh, all set to go, all going to be a cracker. What are you most looking forward to ahead of today's race?
Yeah, well, I think I'm all set and ready to go. That was quite a quick call. Unexpected as well, but just getting ready, and then my watch goes absolutely crazy. But yeah, hello everybody. Italian Grand Prix time, as you said, in just under an hour and 7 minutes. Will the Monza curse strike Max Verstappen? Will the Monza curse stop Max Verstappen from getting the 10 consecutive wins? Will the Monza curse make another winner? Could it be a first-time winner? Could it be an all-British feature race / Sunday wins?
It's going to be fun to see. It's going to be fun to have a go at. I'm going to hand it over now to Sky. Josh T will turn it up, and then it's over to Jess and Josh for the pre-show. I'm off to MotoGP. So I'll hand it over to Sky, who's talking with Sir Jackie Stewart.
10 in a row and break the record.
I'd like to see a Ferrari come to the last lap and get maybe beaten in the last corner. By Verstappen.
That's not nice, Jackie. That's not nice. I hope the Italian fans didn't hear you say this.
Listen, they need to see a Grand Prix, and to do it in their own country, I hope they get it. It'd be wonderful.
So, Jackie, always an absolute pleasure. It's great looking back on your fantastic achievements. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's a fabulous atmosphere, as we say here in Monza. Martin Brundle spending his day a little bit differently today. We're not going to do the grid walk. Instead, he's going to spend the next hour or so with McLaren building up to lights out. Martin.
Indeed, a very different grid walk with several stages here at the Italian Grand Prix. I'm going to follow McLaren through the whole process. It is their 60th anniversary after all. And we're here then in the pit lane, where of course the spare wings are sitting, and the trolleys are just getting ready to go to the grid. I'm going to talk to Johnny here, who's involved in getting this little lot with the crew to the grid. Tell us about this rig, Johnny.
So this is what we call a grid trolley. It's basically the life support for the car when we get to the grid. So the car's going to leave very shortly, and we're going to go to the grid and set up some of the key equipment just to keep the car alive. And we've got about half an hour to set fans up. Predominantly, it's going to be cooling the car and allowing power for the system monitor, so the systems guys can monitor the brake temperatures, etc., engine temperatures for when it arrives at the grid. So
are they these look like sort of leaf blowers you could buy down the hardware store? Are they and just adapted?
Yeah, no, these are just, you can buy these in hardware stores. They each have a special place on the car. So we have 2 fans for the radiators. We have 4 brake fans, couple of driver cooling fans, and some other fans just on standby, just in case we need to put fans anywhere else. We carry probably 30 batteries because we go through batteries quite quickly.
Batteries for what? The car, or no? You mean just?
Yeah, they're all battery driven, so they're quite easy to use. But depending on how hot the car comes to the back of the grid, depends on how many batteries we go through. But
and what about redundancy? I know you got to go now. I'll follow you if I may. What about redundancy with, you know, if one of these generators breaks down or something?
We have a couple of generators that go to the grid, but they are serviced and looked after very well. So normally they run fine, and we haven't had an issue for a little while. But that would come down to managing what we plug into where. As long as the tyres are on heat, that's really the only really equipment that's demanded from the generator and the grid trolley. But you know, all the fans are battery operated, so we're not really relying on the generator as much for that. But
This feels like the start of the Grand Prix as you're all charging down the pit lane with Ferrari and everybody.
yeah, so I mean, it's the same every week. Everyone has their own job role. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing. It's the same people, and it's the same pretty much every circuit we go to. Sometimes it's longer from the garage to walk to the grid slot. There's a few races that we go to that are, you know, you've got to psych yourself up because the grid trolleys ultimately have to be pushed and pulled back from the grid. But yeah, it's quite a slick process normally. Yeah, it's just...
The first thing that surprised me is I thought you'd be going that way because the grid's sort of quite back from the pit lane, isn't it? But you're going out to the front, and then you've got to charge all the way down the grid.
Yeah, I don't know quite why we've gone this way, but I'll let the guys that are pulling. I've got the easy job at the moment.
They're charging along. I can barely keep up with them. So I'm going to come and join you a little bit later on to see what goes on when the car turns up at the back of the grid. So thanks for your information. We'll see you shortly. And back to you, Simon.
Yeah, we're back with Martin and McLaren in a few moments' time. Right, as I mentioned before the break, what a difference a week makes. This time last weekend in Zandvoort, Pierre Gasly was on the podium, only the fourth of his long career, but he starts from 17th today. However, Rachel went to visit him at home in his apartment in Milan earlier this week, while still on a high from events in Holland.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me at your apartment.
Yeah, no worries. Welcome.
So Pierre, on the table in front, the trophy from the Netherlands. How did you end up in that position?
Yeah, I must say it felt really good to be back on the podium, especially after such an intense afternoon. Like with the strategy, we raced under, well, pretty much all possible conditions.
Do they want to take the opportunity to pit? Is it a good time to pit?
So rain will be imminent. Let us know what tires you want.
Yeah, rain. Let's box. You want a box or not? Let's go one more lap.
One more lap.
No, box.
Inter.
And I kept going, box.
Do not
And
reply to me, just get the
yeah.
tires out.
Yeah, and I was worried that they will not be ready, and in the end they were. So it was a really well executed race from the whole team.
Pierre Gasly is back on the podium for the first time since 2021.
What were you like at school?
I was the one that I knew if I get good grades, I'll get away if I misbehave a couple of times.
You were smart
So
then as a kid.
I'll make sure I get the good marks, and then I'll be playing the clown a bit in the class. And it was often like good grades, but can improve the behavior.
And we're sitting here surrounded by trophies. There's a race winner's trophy. What would you say to that kid? I mean, would he have even believed it?
I still remember these days as if they were yesterday. And I still remember how much fun I got from, you know, these first few battles on track with Charles, with Antoine, with Esteban, with my friends back then at the time. And we had such a strong generation back then. Now we're racing wheel to wheel in Formula One. But that sort of look that we have and battle that we have has never changed.
Do you still want to be a world champion?
Yeah, 100%. And this is the only reason why I'm doing all this, is to be world champion and to be the best in Formula One. The day I won't care about being the best in F1. I'll do something else, because people see the fun side of things of being an F1 driver, but there is also a lot of sacrifices.
All right, now you're going to show me around Milan and take me for some lunch.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go for some
Sounds
lunch.
good.
This restaurant, is it one of your favourites here?
Yeah, I will say I start to have a pretty good list of places I like in Milan, and yeah, clearly the Dome is one of my favorite just for the view. You get a beautiful view on the Duomo
Can you walk around?
with a cap. Yeah, with a cap and sunglasses, and yeah, I mean, Italians love Formula One.
Have you noticed that change over the last few years, the popularity
Yeah.
of the sport? And yeah,
I mean, there was clearly a before Monza and after Monza 2020. It changed many things in my life, in my career, in myself as an athlete. That there was a turning point into my career at that specific day.
why do you live in Milan?
After I found the comfort of life here in Italy, I love fashion. Fashion is a big part, especially here in Milan. I love food. I'm a foodie myself. I haven't found a bad restaurant here.
Talking of fashion,
Yeah.
it is a great city for fashion, but I feel like drivers are wearing more fashion these days in the paddock. I feel like suddenly everybody's able to express themselves more. Do you?
Thanks to
I know Lewis started doing it, but
To
having
be
said
fair,
that,
I think you know it's important to say it. Without him, it will be different these days. Lewis opened a lot of doors for all of us, and I think the mentality has changed slightly. I think people have a lot more space to express themselves. I get on very well with Lewis. I actually thank him for sticking to his values and to himself all these years, because now it's made the path slightly smoother for us young drivers. I need
We
to
need
take you
ice
for a
cream.
gelato, right?
Exactly.
You need your
I
Italian
want the
gelato.
best gelato in Milan.
I'll have one scoop.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you very much for the tour of Milan and
Yeah.
for showing us around your home, and all the best for this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mia.
you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I can understand why he wants to live in Milan. Fantastic city. This just on the outskirts here in Monza. It's one of the features of this Alpine car this year. You just do not know what you're going to get from one circuit to the next. I know that there's been a lot of complaints. Obviously, we've got a freeze on the engines until 2026. They're concerned. They're like 20 horsepower down on the other because they can't compete at a circuit like this, which is more suited to the drag racers amongst the field.
Look, it's a stark contrast from where they were last weekend. I mean, Pierre Gasly was on the podium, as we just heard again. And, you know, we've even seen a couple of really peak moments from Gasly in Spa on the podium in the sprint race. And Ocon as well in Monaco. So the cars, I wouldn't say that they lack performance overall, but here clearly their downfall seems to be speed. And as you say, they feel they're losing 20 brake horsepower, which on a track like this, which is so high speed, very long straights, that is going to make a world of difference. So, you know, both of the drivers out in Q3, very disappointing day for Alpine.
It feels like a season. I mean, they're a team that has been under pressure. We've lost Otmar, we've lost Permain, there's Fry has left, he's gone to Williams. You wonder what they've got to do to get this sorted out, because it's been year after year after year, whether they've changed their name or not, of about the same. 5th, 6th in the championship, up to 4th perhaps.
Yeah, and they have really high ambitions as well. They don't want to just be 5th and 6th. They've come on at the beginning of the year with this pyramid plan to get to the top, and clearly they've gone backwards as opposed to McLaren. If you see where McLaren are, that's going to hurt. And as you say, they've had so much senior leadership management change recently that's not going to be a good thing for them at this point in the season. Obviously, you want to get ahead of what you're going to be able to do for next season, but as of the momentum they're having right now, that's going to change things up for them, and it's going to cause a lack of stability.
Inside and out until lights out, the crowd beginning to jump around. It's going to be buzzing this, we know it is, particularly if Ferrari can get a win. And as we are in Italy, a time to celebrate their great leader from the past, Enzo Ferrari. We'll do that in a couple of moments' time.
When it was a Formula One weekend, he was sitting here. He had a chair here in the middle. In this fireplace was a TV, and I was staying here in the corner where you're sitting, but I couldn't speak.
They may be going for a break, but we are definitely not, as we just heard from Pierre Gasly talking about his experiences of Zandvoort as well. Kind of a bit of a interesting story compared to Monza, because Monza, they've been knocked out of Q1. They weren't happy with the hard tyres, Josh, and speaking to Naomi and Simon, they seemed like it was a downforce that was not helping them get through into Q2.
Yeah, definitely. But we are now inside the 1 hour bubble. Good to hear from Pierre Gasly, of course, coming off from that podium last weekend at the Dutch Grand Prix. And we will have to see what he does today. Of course, part of one of the teams based in Italy. Of course, starting in 17th, I believe, today, but we're getting closer. Pit lane should be opening soon.
And Gasly was, in fact, one of the drivers that won in 2020, but the Monza curse is still up there. But with Carlos Sainz obviously on pole position, Max Verstappen winning last time out as well. By looking at some news articles as well, Carlos doesn't seem phased. He still possibly thinks that Verstappen can do it, but he's not ruling out of his own chances. What does he need to do to make sure that Verstappen doesn't win? Because Red Bull has been the only team to have won races this season.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't want to bring this news, but I am going to bring this news, and it has been circling on Twitter. Nico Rosberg has posted on Instagram with a selfie saying Forza Ferrari. And,
oh no!
And we all know how that goes. But hopefully the Monza curse will strike. How good will it be to see a Ferrari 1-2 here at one of their home Grand Prix in Monza? Just a fact here from Sean Kelly. 34 Italian Grand Prix have finished in under 80 minutes. If we're clean and green today, I predict a checkered flag at around an hour and 16 minutes, also 76 minutes, but it's Monza. We've seen how chaotic it was yesterday in the sprint races. We've seen how chaotic it was this morning in the F3 sprint, and definitely the F2 sprint was absolutely chaotic. And the Porsche Super Cup, I don't know if you watched that, Jess, but the Porsche Super Cup, definitely not a race to miss, and a championship fight right down to the last corner. Dramatic. I won't spoil it, just in case you haven't watched it and you're wanting to watch it on Catch Up, but an absolutely amazing race.
I have to say, I think Bert Mylander hasn't got his break, I think, this morning, because I think every series have had at least more than one safety car. I remember watching F2 earlier on today, and I was really frustrated, and I got annoyed that it was ending under safety car. Not as annoyed as Joshua Birch in the broadcast. He got very frustrated and angry. I'm sure Omi did as well. But it is a nice day. I think the first weekend in a while where we've had no rain to have affected the whole weekend. Obviously, it was dry in Silverstone, but that was on the Sunday. It was raining throughout the weekend on the Saturday, but this weekend, no rain at all. No wet running either as well. But that doesn't mean there's going to be chaos. There could be chaos. We know what happened in 2021 with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. But we're going to hope that people can keep it clean out there. But it is Formula One, and we know anything can happen. And we're just about, hopefully, to get the pit lane opening soon.
Yep, and we will return back to Sky right now, hopefully.
23rd running of the Italian Grand Prix, the 74th in the championship, along with the British Grand Prix, the only Grand Prix to appear in every championship calendar year. As we said, under 50 minutes to go. Pit lane is open. Let's go to Tex.
Tell you what, it's getting loud here in the pit lane as well. Monza awaits for this Italian Grand Prix. And there are 3 words. Here are 3 words for you. Cathedral of Speed. Il Cattedrale della Veloce. And here's another 3 words that 150,000 Italian Ferrari Mad Tifosi want to say today. And it's come on, Ferrari. Come on, Sainz. Let's see if they can be victorious against Max Verstappen. Sainz saying yesterday, let's see if we can close out the deal tomorrow. But Max Verstappen saying yesterday, We will get them tomorrow. But the start is going to be absolutely crucial today. Let's have a look at the Alpines, seeing what they can do off the start. Do they get a lot of wheel spin? Do they don't? So much will depend on the start. But Ferrari did show good long run pace when they practiced that on Friday. Okay, maybe it wasn't as good as Max Verstappen's and that man up there, Sergio Perez, but it's still not too bad. There's Alex Albon in the Williams. What can he do today? As for the strategy, two stops are possible if we get a safety car later on. Pitting under a safety car, of course, costs you less time, but otherwise, it's a plumb one stop around Monza. Here we go. There is Charles Leclerc lining up behind the Williams, car number 16 in the Rosso Red Ferrari. Let's have a look at the start he gets. Focus on the rear wheels there. But if it is a one stop, you start on the soft tyre, go to lap 14 to 20, then put the hard tyre onto the end, 53 lap race. Or you could start on the medium tyre. That's the favoured tyre start for most people. Go to laps 20 to 26, and then again, put the hard tyre on and go to the end. But David Croft in the commentary box, it's a long shot the win for Ferrari, but is this their best chance of the season?
It certainly is, according to Ferrari, and there's the man, Carlos Sainz himself. You know that I love a record or two. Here's a record for you. Smooth Operator by Sade. It was released this week, 39 years ago, and the Smooth Operator, Carlos Sainz, is on pole here at Monza. Will we get a rendition later on this afternoon? It's his first pole of the season. The last pole was at Silverstone in 2022, and of course, he won from pole that day. He'll be hoping for some good race pace and hoping, too, that the curse of Monza strikes again and affected his teammate Charles Leclerc in 2019, Pierre Gasly, who won in 2020, and Daniel Ricciardo, who won in 2021. They returned here 12 months later and failed to finish the race. The man who won last time out, Max Verstappen, hoping the curse doesn't strike and spoil his record-breaking party this afternoon. He's going for 10 out of 10. No driver has ever achieved that in the history of Formula One. Charles Leclerc is going to have to watch out locking up like that going into the first turn, because surely he'll be putting pressure on Max Verstappen right from the off. And if Verstappen does win, or even Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull, it's 15 wins in a row for Red Bull, and no team has ever done that before either. McLaren got the closest in 1988, the one that got away and spoiled their perfect season, the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. And here's a little nod as well as we watch Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas. What a tribute helmet from him this weekend, highlighting the former efforts of glorious Alfa Romeo drivers in the past, including Giuseppe Farina, who on this day in 1950 became the first ever F1 world champion when he took victory here at Monza. Simon, down to you.
Good stuff. I've got another stat for you, Crofty. 15 of the last 23 races have been won from pole position. That means pole position is statistically more important here than it is in Monaco. Nico, why is that? What's your hunch behind that?
It's a bit of a surprising statistic, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, it's been in the past a little bit difficult to overtake here, but now we have DRS and everything, and the tires should be wearing quite a lot today. So I think overtaking should be possible for those that are really a lot quicker, like potentially Max Verstappen. Yeah, but anyways, I mean, certainly Carlos Sainz is in the best position possible.
Yeah, he is. But let's get into the fundamental problems surrounding that Ferrari. All year we know that it's a peaky car and it chooses tyres up. It could be an issue for them today, and could it be the biggest problem for them, the fact that degradation might be quite high?
It's probably going to be slightly less of an issue for them here because typically this track has lower deg. Today it's obviously very hot, so it might be worse than it's been all weekend. But for them, the bigger issue is going to be that they've really got a super efficient downforce package here, which makes them quick on a one-lap pace. But in terms of grip today, I think they're going to struggle a little bit more and therefore also have more deg than potentially the Red Bulls.
Which at the same time, though, allows them to be quicker on the straights. Huh? So they're about 4 kph quicker on the straights to Red Bull. So that could help them defend.
However, also because the Red Bull is running that bigger rear wing, their DRS effect will be stronger than the Ferrari with the thinner wing.
Okay. Right, as we've said and as we've seen, Martin Brundle is spending his time today with McLaren. Let's go to the back of the grid and rejoin him.
Absolutely, yes. So, second phase of preparing for the race, along with McLaren, very close to their 60th birthday. We'll get into that a little bit more. So the crew are all here at the back. I'll grab Johnny again. And so what's the format now? What do you got to do now, Johnny?
So we just wait for Lando to get to the back of the grid, and he'll pull up. We'll put the fans in, brake fans, put it on skateboards, and then we'll push it through to the grid grip position. Yeah, he should be round very soon.
Have you ever had it where your drivers sort of go through the gravel trap and you've suddenly got some work to do on the grid?
Not often. No, our guys are pretty good. You know, we might pick up a tiny bit of floor damage if they've hit a curb or something like that, but normally it's pretty good.
Everybody looks very relaxed up on the barriers there. Is it?
I mean, you know, everyone knows what they're doing. They're used to it, and it's a bit of chill out time for them, you know, before the real work starts. And then we'll pit stops to do and get the race done. So
no nerves then. No nerves at this stage.
No nerves. Not normally. No.
All right. I know you got to go now. Lando's coming. So why am I wearing these headphones? Well, I think they got MB on them somewhere. It's very nice, McLaren. We're going to try something a little bit different today. I'm going to try and talk to Lando while he's on the trolleys being pushed to the front of the grid. And we'll see how that goes. It's a trial. And I think Lando's up for it. I don't know. And his gloves are off. Lando, it's Martin. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, just about. No,
Lando and Martin, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
He can hear me, but I can't hear him, unfortunately. So tell us about the balance of the car. How does the car feel out there going to the grid?
It generally feels pretty terrible, but that's the expectation. Just even on these laps, the grid, the tires overheat quite a bit. So with the balance very quickly, the car becomes very disconnected. So it feels like you have a lot of instability on the entry to the corners. So the rear gets very slidey. You go from that balance straight away to a big understeer through the apex of the corner, and then you struggle with the traction. So it's a normal thing. I know I say it sounds maybe pretty bad, but it's the expectation. It's how the race is pretty much going to be all of today.
And how representative then are those 3 laps to the grid of what you're going to feel at the start of the Grand Prix? You're on full fuel now, of course.
I'm struggling to understand what you're saying exactly. So I'm just going to come up with a random answer. But yeah, I think we have to pick the balance wisely. It's a long race with the 2 or 3 stints, depending on what we choose to do with the strategy. But a lot of it is about management today. It's about management of the tires, choosing the battles wisely. We want to go forward, though. We want to push forward. We want to try and overtake and get some positions. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy just to do normal overtakes down the straight, especially on cars like the Williams, who are a lot quicker than us in the straight. So it's going to be about the power management, the pit stops, the strategy. That's where things are going to come towards us.
Okay, I'm trying not to get run over by your car here, actually, but it must feel weird on these wheels with the car swinging around. You must want to put some counter steer into it.
I'm still struggling to understand anything you're saying. Maybe move the mic a little bit further away from your mouth. It might be a little bit better. I don't know.
All right, I think we've had our time with you, Lando. Anyway, look, thank you for this rather unique opportunity to have a chat as you're going to your grid slot, and I know you want to focus now on the race.
Thank you so much. I think you've broken both my eardrums, but nice to talk to you as always. Cheers, man.
Okay. So, yeah, what we're going to do then, we're going to come back. So now they're going to look at the car. Drivers will leave the grid. And we're going to come back a little bit later on and see who else is around the car and talk about what's actually going on. Back to you, Simon.
It's a good sport, is Lando. No, it's a good sport. Right, Liam Lawson. Well, he's filling in, isn't he, at the moment for Daniel Ricciardo, doing a really good job just behind his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. This has just happened over team radio, though.
So my left mirror has come loose. It's disconnected from the frame.
See that bouncing around all over the place. So we'll try and get a repair on that. They really will. Okay, so here we are at the home of Ferrari. 2 Ferraris in the top 3. First time since 2018. Enzo Ferrari would have approved, and earlier this year, we sent Damon to meet his son Piero.
Trova nelle nostre macchine qualcosa di diverso. Non dico che sia sempre in meglio, no, ma qualche cosa di diverso.
When I was about 15, a few months after my father had died, my mother had a phone call from Enzo Ferrari saying, would Damon like to come and visit Maranello? And I didn't take him up on that offer. But 47 years later, I'm here. Piero, I feel absolutely honored to be here in your father's office, in the farmhouse. We're trying to understand why was he such a potent force in our sport? What was it that drove him, do you think?
My father was a really strong personality, but was even a person with a lot of good sentiment, good feelings, and helping people. And this part is not known, but is known the other part of my father, that is the strong man. Was strong, but was a man with a vision on the future. He was always saying, the past is the history, the past is done, you cannot change it, you can change the future. This was the timing of the Fiorano track.
Oh, I see a timing screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had the phone and was calling the kids, saying, oh, what are you doing? What? Why the car stopped? And he was checking from here. He was asking which engine is on the car and checking.
Checking it.
With the diagram, on the diagram. He was so precise on everything.
The impression we have is of someone who's terrifying. You know, he has a dark heart.
Yeah.
He's always angry.
Yeah, but was a person with good heart. After his death, I received many letters of people, you have to know your father was helping me, he gave me money. So I discovered later, but that was his personality.
Some drivers cracked under the pressure, but other drivers like Niki Lauda were brave enough to say what needed to be said.
The car is terrible. It is a bad car and it doesn't work.
Niki was really successful period because he was really a champion and he made the change. We changed the team, we changed the engineers, and with Niki we built up a good period and good team.
Niki Lauda.
He loved Gilles because Gilles was in any track with any car with any condition, he was flat out in every moment. And so I was sure that he was using 100% the car.
So he
appreciated so much of this attitude.
Villeneuve wins a 100,000 cheering Canadians go wild with delight.
I was thinking about Michael because, you know, he didn't meet Enzo that at all. So what do you think Enzo would have made of Michael?
For sure was really the champion. Michael really was very professional, was very brave, was very intelligent. My father was, for sure, very happy to have a driver like him. You know, Michael was sleeping here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, was sleeping in this house.
So he stayed actually in the farmhouse.
Yeah, I never saw a guy like him really so concentrated on what he was doing.
You don't have to tell me how good he was. My father was quite a strong character as well. And
yeah.
I sometimes think, you know, okay, he was cross with me sometimes, but sometimes it made me a bit tougher as well.
It was difficult to, at the same table, to see, oh, I disagree, I don't like European, I have a different opinion. This was not possible.
Not possible?
No.
Okay.
But I had to be more diplomatic.
Yeah.
When it was a Formula One weekend, he was sitting here. He had a chair here in the middle. In this fireplace was a TV, and I was staying here in the corner where you're sitting, but I couldn't speak.
Right.
No comments. He wanted to listen all the TV comments, and no only if requested I could speak. Here he was feeling like the king of a small kingdom. He was here, and here he was the king.
Well, I'm not a Ferrari driver. I never was a Ferrari driver. But what might have happened if I'd accepted the invitation back in the 1970s to come and see? And yeah, maybe he would have said, "Don't be a racing driver." Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, what an experience for David. I spoke to him about that. He absolutely loved going across there. Just so for your
Well, Jess is on mute, so we come back off of
Sorry.
we come back off of Sky, and well, looks like we've got an interview on the grid coming up, maybe, possibly, so we'll go back down to that in a moment. But interesting there, just quickly, before we go back down, Jess, with the Enzo Ferrari thing. With Michael Schumacher, of course, sleeping in the farmhouse as well. What do you think of that before we go down?
Yeah, that was quite interesting. And obviously, Michael Schumacher joined the team, I think, 1996. There were debates on whether Michael Schumacher could bring Ferrari back to glory, which he did. And he managed to get so many world titles with them as well. And it was just great. And he even raced himself, I think, back in the 1920s, even before Formula One was born. And it was mainly around, I think, Ravenna and the Savio circuit and the Copper. I can't even pronounce that, actually, but there we go. But and he's been a part of many few films as well, which is interesting. But we got Carlos Sainz that's going to be starting on pole position in the number 55 car. Can he take his second win in his Formula One career like he did at Silverstone? In Silverstone last year, that's where he got pole, remember? So maybe history will dictate itself. And like Simon was alluding to, most races have been won from pole this season.
Yeah, well, there is Stefano Domenicali and Mohammed Ben Sulayem. There is Daddy's Cash, Daddy Stroll, but with just, well, as soon as I say that, just gone to 31 minutes until the formation lap starts. Let's go back and join Sky.
It's a different environment to where we get anywhere else.
Look, wherever we have this kind of fandom and a whole wave of people who come in to support one team or one driver, it gives it that little extra something because all the fans are united, and that's something we don't see at every location. But fantastic to see them out here again in full force as they always come out to support Ferrari, no matter where they are on the grid. The Tifosi will be here for them.
Funnily enough, perhaps this one and the last one are the two most similar, aren't they? Because last weekend it was all about Max Verstappen, a sea of orange, and this weekend a sea of red. And well, talking of orange, it's a different kind of orange, papaya. We will be back down with Martin as the Tifosi continue to build here because he's with McLaren and with Lando Norris's team right now. And there are his earphones with his initials on. Talking to Zach in a couple of moments' time. Back out here on the grid. Don't go anywhere. Lots still to come before lights out.
And while Sky is on their break, we'll just talk about a few other teams. And luckily, I was not on mute then, so that was a good timing from us there. But Max Verstappen struggled a little bit yesterday and Friday. Wasn't the smoothest day in terms of data. He didn't feel like the handling was good in general when he hit traffic. But you never know with Verstappen. We've seen him go from outside pole before and win the race, but can he get his 10th win in a row this season, which will beat the record of Sebastian Vettel? Currently they're matching 9 wins apiece in a row. Obviously Seb Vettel matching it from 1 to 2 seasons, whereas Verstappen has done it in more than one season. But Sainz is looking to stop Verstappen fighting for another record.
Yeah, well, we could also see one of the Brits on top. If one of the Brits do go on top, then that will be a Brit winning F3, a Brit winning F2, a Brit winning Porsche Super Cup, and then a Brit winning F1. So if Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, or Lando Norris get on top, then that's an all British Monza. But how good will it be if we do get a Ferrari on top? Not Max Verstappen for once, and I know Megan will be happy if Max Verstappen crashes out.
Yes, I think Megan was, very on it yesterday and like, I don't want Verstappen to win. That's what he said. He doesn't care. She doesn't care if Verstappen, if whoever wins, as long as it's not Max Verstappen. And talking of the Brits, actually, we saw Mercedes, George Russell qualifying in P4. He was not expecting that. He was expecting to qualify a lot earlier, mainly due to the fact that he wasn't that comfortable on Friday, but he found the new qualifying format to be very good. Remember, Mercedes got pole in the Hungarian Grand Prix with this new qualifying format as well, and them getting the toe really helped as well for some runs. But George did decide to choose clean air just so he can avoid the traffic, and it worked for George Russell in a way to get ahead of his teammate. Also with Leclerc as well, he felt that if he got the toe, he would have got P1 ahead of Carlos Sainz, but I don't get Ferrari. I thought Leclerc was going to get the toe this week, with Sainz getting advantage last week, but we know what can happen with Ferrari, Josh.
Yeah, and Ferrari, of course, doing their incredible, iconic, in a bad way, Ferrari strategy, and well, Mr. Gallagher, I believe, is trackside this weekend, so that's definitely going to be interesting. But as Simon Lazenby said, we will be joining them soon, and Martin Brundle will be talking with Zach Brown. Of course, Martin staying with McLaren for today. We'll see if he gets his grid walk or if he's focusing on McLaren today. Hopefully we'll get some sort of a grid walk, and talking to Lando while he was on the trolley, well, it kind of worked.
It kind of did. 60th anniversary for McLaren, I believe. I think that's why they're following them. And they got a 1-2 in 2021. And when the Italian Grand Prix was in 1989, McLaren already had the perfect run until it got to Monza. And then Ferrari secured the 1-2. This year, we got Red Bull getting a perfect run. And Ferrari could get a 1-2 here today as well. So, yeah, Ferrari are looking to have history repeat itself as well. But Ferrari have done well in Le Mans this year with a similar livery. Is the livery going to translate into pace, I wonder? Only time will tell.
Yeah, of course, Ferrari this week, they have got a livery honouring the win at Le Mans. And we will be momentarily joining Sky back. We are 25 minutes and a half away from the formation lap to the Italian Grand Prix. Let's join Simon.
Campaign as we aim to be net carbon zero by 2030, encouraging fans to travel to sporting events this summer in as green a manner as possible. F1 leading the way as well on sustainable fuels, as Ted explains.
Compared to non-motorized sports, it's obvious that motor racing comes with a sizable carbon footprint. But F1 cars' power units are some of the most efficient on the planet, and the fuels that F1 cars run on are greener than you think, and are about to get 100% carbon neutral.
If you've been to the petrol station recently and seen E10 on the nozzle, did you know the fuel you're using is 10% ethanol? That's a biofuel. And did you also know F1 cars have been using E10 petrol for a couple of years now? And in 2.5 years, 2026, every F1 car on the grid will be using 100% sustainable fuel.
Compared to regular fossil fuel, sustainable fuel achieves a 95% reduction in CO2 emissions. And the good bit is that the 2026 sustainable fuels made for F1 will be able to be used by any road vehicles, cars, trucks, anything that rolls up on your local forecourt. Making sustainable fuel actually isn't that hard. Petrol is a mixture of hydrocarbons, so you just need to get your carbon atoms from existing sources, such as biomass, household waste, and even sucking carbon out of the atmosphere. Form them up with hydrogen atoms, repeat and develop, and eventually you have synthetic, sustainable fuel.
Actually, the hard part is scaling it all up and the cost, but it all comes down to this. While burning sustainable fuel still produces exhaust gas and CO2 in the normal way, by taking the carbon out of the environment in the first place, it doesn't produce any new CO2. In other words, it's carbon neutral. So from 2026, F1 cars won't be adding any new carbon to the atmosphere. They'll just be recycling it. And it's the red-hot demands of competition in F1 which will be pushing the engineers to achieve their aims quicker than if they didn't have a deadline. And I know what you're thinking. Won't a change to the car's fuel affect their performance, their speed? Well, Formula 2 and Formula 3 have been using a blend of 55% sustainable fuel since the start of this season, and they haven't noticed a drop in performance. And there are more ways that the F1 industry is evolving. For instance, the Mercedes team race trucks crisscross Europe using HVO 100 Petronas second-generation biofuel, which reduces emissions by 89%. So Formula One is getting greener with every mile raced, and by 2030, the sport will be entirely carbon neutral, making the racing cars we love to watch on a Sunday afternoon part of the solution, rather than part of the problem.
Yeah, and everybody up and down the pit lane, up and down that grid, all aiming and all pulling in the same direction, Nico.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great to see the teams going that direction. It's great to see the sport, the drivers. I think it's also, we have a kind of duty, you know, we have such an enormous following in our sport, and there's an opportunity here to be role models, you know, and show the right path and take on this challenge, you know, for transforming, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, you've been a fan actually of the alternative tyre allocation this weekend as well, just to come back to you on that, because that's going to save in the long term if it does get adopted and doesn't get vetoed by the teams. That's going to play a big role, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. That's another thing that's been implemented and tried at the moment. And that tire strategy would save 20% tires over the season for Pirelli. And you know that new tires, when they don't get used or even used ones, they get burned for now. They get shipped away and burned, you know, so they're also trying to do a lot of progress there. So I think it's all going in the right direction.
And as Ted points out, moving towards these sustainable fuels, already F2 and F3 leading the way on that front. And hopefully by 2026, 100% on this grid.
Yeah, for now, as you say, F2 and F3 have 55% sustainable fuels using biofuels as well. In a couple of years, they'll be using direct air capture for that. And then in 2027, actually, F2 and F3 will be 100% as well. So F1 will be the first ones to be that. But it's fantastic. I mean, we've got access to some of the smartest people, that, especially when it comes to technology and optimization. And I think if there's anyone who can do it and make a big change, these guys can. We saw it in COVID.
Packed down here at the front of the grid. I should imagine it's packed down at the other end of the grid because Martin Brundle, let's go back to you.
I'm mid-grid, actually, with the two McLarens lying astern here, Lando's car. Bruce McLaren set this team up, his eponymous team, in 1963. You can see a little badge on the front there of the Kiwi. He was a New Zealander, of course. But let's have another look for our third hit on the McLaren grid and talk to Paul Barnes, who's Director of Support and Logistics. Paul, what's going on there? This looks like almost an intensive care unit as you're keeping this car alive.
Essentially, what we need to do is replicate what you see in the garage of all the live support hanging from the overhead. You need to replicate that on the grid. These cars operate on a knife edge, so we need to keep everything cool. So we have engine coolers, cooling fans. We have electronics cooling fans to stop the electronics getting too hot, at which point they can close themselves down. We obviously need to keep some heat in the tyres. All of this we need to replicate without any power or network. So we do that with small batteries for network and large generator trolleys to keep everything else going.
And I guess you're pretty happy it's not pouring the rain. So, yeah, you've got to heat some bits, cool other bits. What's going on with these laptops? I know we can't get too close into them and see the information, but why do you need laptops on the grid?
So they're monitoring all the essential systems on the car. So we have one for the HPP team, and they're monitoring the engine. And then we have one from the McLaren side who are looking at all of the essential electronics, making sure nothing's get too hot. We can redirect air into certain areas based on the data being generated on the screen that you can see here. And then they work together to coordinate fire up to do engine circulations and things.
It always amazes me how you get so many people around one Formula One car, and they're so beautifully choreographed. They don't get in each other's way.
Yeah, it's incredible. It takes a lot of practice. Like in winter testing, we simulated grid procedure several times. That's when we get to Bahrain or whatever the first race, we're well drilled, and you can see it looks relaxed, but everyone knows their role. And once it sort of comes to getting the car prepped, everyone knows exactly where to be and what to do. And it's a lot of practice to get there.
Thank you for taking the time today for our friends at home and me and the Sky F1 team to understand what's going on around here. That's great. I'm going to go and have a word with the boss. Thank you. Thank you very much. By the way, this is Sophie Ogg, Director of Formula One Communications, McLaren, who helped us put all this together today. And she's shy. She doesn't want it. She just wants to make sure everything happens smoothly. And it has, and she's been brilliant. Zach, your two cars, line astern. What do you think you can get out of today's Grand Prix?
I think we can move forward. I'm really happy with the progress the team's made. Obviously, not just since Austria, but we knew Monza was going to be a challenge for us. But all the men and women at McLaren have done a great job getting us faster in a straight line. So, we need to have a clean first lap. It's hotter today. See if that dictates any different type of tire wear than we're anticipating, and try and race hard.
So what will you tell your two drivers as they're so close together? And we know how it gets all cramped up down into the turn in for turn one.
Well, to play nice with each other, of course, but they know to do that and work together. I think this will be a track of DRS and slipstream, so turn one can be tricky for everybody. So we just want to get through that cleanly and then settle in.
Okay, you've got two world champions to the right of you on the grid. It's going to be busy down into turn one. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Simon.
Well, amongst all the Ferrari hype, it's easy to forget that Max Verstappen stands on the verge of something incredibly special. No man in the history of the sport has made it 10 wins in a row. Let's hear from the double world champion with Rachel.
You didn't seem too concerned with P2 yesterday. Tell me how you're going to win this race today.
By finishing first, I think that helps. But
so where do you make that move?
I don't think about it like that. The opportunities can happen at the start. They can happen later. They cannot come at all. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think normally we're always quite good on the tires, and hopefully we are again today.
Any worries you've got a Ferrari in front and a Ferrari behind? Have you got to be looking both ways at the start?
Yeah, but I mean, that's normal. The guy behind always tries to, of course, get you. I tried to get the car ahead, but it also needs to be possible.
Have you thought about the 10?
I just want to try and win the race. I mean, I'm not really thinking about the number because it would be nice to have, but it also needs to be possible. At the end of the day, we're fighting for a championship. That's what we need to bring home. It's not about getting 10 in a row.
Thanks, Max.
We all remember what happened in 2021 and that first chicane and the coming together of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. He can afford to be patient, doesn't need to take any risks, does he there, Nico?
No, of course not. But I also don't believe him so much that he says, 10, I'm not thinking about that. Of course he thinks about that because it's an incredible record that he has the opportunity to break today. And I'm not sure. I think he by now he can take a few more risks because he's so far ahead in the championship. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see an aggressive Max Verstappen.
Okay, let's hear from Fred Vasseur. He's talking to Ted.
Well, Fred, how are the nerves? How are the starts with the car on the way to the grid?
So far, so good, but it's not the most important. The most important is the next one. But so far, it's okay. That I hope that the drivers won't be too influenced with the party around. But no, it's okay. It's okay.
Do you have an advantage in that Charles can get involved, maybe on lap 1 as well, to help Carlos?
No, it's not there to help each other. That the most important is to take a good start. We know that the slipstream between the starting grid and the turn one is important. And let's see what's happened. And then we will have to be focused on ourselves. And it's the best way to achieve.
I saw you just talking to Christian Horner a second ago. Did he wish you luck?
We said see you later.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Quick word on it, and his teammate Charles Leclerc didn't get the slipstream yesterday, did Charles Leclerc? He seemed a little bit annoyed by that.
Wouldn't you be annoyed? I mean, I think here it's, we heard yesterday how much of an orchestration it is to get that right. So it is a bit of risk for reward. And yesterday, Fred Vasseur decided, and he even mentioned to us that they thought that was the quicker option, was to not opt for it, and it was the safer choice. Did he lose out? Probably a little bit. If they would have been able to pull the pieces together and get it right, that is worth. I mean, look, all he was missing was 600ths of a second for pole position.
Sun is beating down here on the grids in Monza. The drivers have made their way to the front, and it's time for one of the best on the calendar, the Italian national anthem.
The Italian national anthem there, a fly pass from the Frecce Tricolori, the Italian national display team. An amazing national anthem there, Jess. Well, we're nearly there for the 2023 Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, we're almost there. Obviously, we talked about Ferrari, we talked about Red Bull. We haven't talked much about AlphaTauri with Liam Lawson's second race in Formula One, and he just about missed out on Q3, but he was only 1/10 off his teammate. So I have to say, Liam Lawson looking very good in that Formula One car, and could be another driver to look at in terms of who's going to get the AlphaTauri seat next season.
Yep, well, here we are just having a replay of the past starts down at the Skypad with Anthony Davidson. Let's join him.
So you have to make these positions while you can here at Monza. It's not the easiest circuit in the world to overtake on in the race. Back to you, Simon.
Yeah, very quickly, a couple of other stories before we get to lights out. Lewis Hamilton signed the new contract to the end of 2025, and then yesterday didn't go to plan. What happened, and what can he do to salvage it today?
Yeah, I mean, great for all of us that he's extended his contract. That was fantastic because you never know. I mean, he's now 38, turning 39. Great to see he's still having fun, and we want to see more of that battle also for Verstappen and Hamilton. That would be great. Yesterday, let's not forget, he's only 1.5 tenths off George, who's very, very quick in qualifying. So not necessarily something went totally wrong. It's just the car that's been a bit off yesterday because they're very slow on the straights. I mean, they're 12 kph down, and that's their biggest loss.
Is that going to be a problem for them today? I mean, they are literally, one of the slowest in those speed traps.
It could very much be an issue, especially keeping faster cars behind them from passing them. That's going to be a real struggle. But, they've proven many times before that they have really good race pace on a day like today. The tire management is very good. So saving grace, but they're going to be really holding on for hope today and hoping that some drivers in front of them have more issues than them.
Can I ask you the same question I asked to Jackie, or is that unfair? I mean, what would you like to see today? I mean, when you see a Ferrari win in Monza, it is something incredibly special, but yet maybe it's even more special if Max can make it 10 in a row, because that doesn't happen every day.
No, forget about that. I want to see a Ferrari win today because the atmosphere is just going to be insane. It will also be a bit of a change. Let's remember that in 1988, when McLaren had that streak of wings, it ended here in Monza by Ferrari with a 1-2. So let's see a repeat of that today.
How do you see it playing out?
Look, I think Max has been dominant all season long. I think he's got so much more to gain by winning that record. I mean, the value of that is insane and massive. So I think the Ferraris will have a tough job keeping him behind them.
No doubt. Who has got the weight of support? As we said, first time since 2018, we've had two Ferraris inside the top three. Can they convert it to a win, or would it be 10 in a row? Italian Grand Prix next.
Yes, indeed. The Italian Grand Prix will be starting in just under 10 minutes' time, and in 5 minutes' time, we'll be going straight to the world feed as well. Carlos Sainz will be starting on pole position. Max Verstappen alongside George Russell having a good qualifying, and also the Williams drivers looking very impressive as well. We have seen debut victories from the likes of Gasly and Ricciardo before here, and Sebastian Vettel in his rookie season back in 2008. Albon felt frustrated last week to finish in 8th place, where he could have finished as high as 6th last week. Williams do have a car on their hands in Monza. They're built for straight line speed here. Is it the upgrades or is it something else, Josh?
Well, we will have to see, of course, the amazing Prix tricolore around the Monza circuit. Of course, you can see them in the UK. The Italian display team, they are a regular visitor to the Royal International Air Tattoo at RAF Fairford, which is an hour and a half that way, as Omi joins the comms box ready for the start of the world feed in 3 minutes. But yeah, an amazing display team there. Fun fact, just like the Red Arrows, they do have a name for the pilots. Instead of red number for the Red Arrows for the it is pony. So each pilot is named as Pony 1, Pony 2, etc., etc. That was coined by them. But enough talking about Air Forces, even though you know that I absolutely love planes. But we're getting ready now for the start of the world feed. Hopefully Josh will be getting ready, as we've had MotoGP decided to be
Bring
MotoGP.
a red flag.
Yes, a red flag. But we've got the strategy guide. We'll go through that later. And of course, we've got the grid, which will be gone through the build-up. Jess, what do you think going into the Italian Grand Prix?
I can see Sainz taking the victory today. I think Sainz is going to do it. Let's bring Omi in the pits quickly before we go to the world feed. Who's your pit for the win? Quickly.
Verstappen.
Boo.
Boo, you gone for the boring choice. Josh, what about you?
I mean, my...
Oh, hello. Sorry, is that not me?
Hello.
Hello. that was good timing. Whichever, Josh, is up to you.
Well, let Josh T go first.
Well, for my grid network, pick a winner, because that's Verstappen, but I really think Carlos Sainz could win it.
And we're joined by Joshua Birch back in the box after doing MotoGP. Hi, Josh. How's MotoGP so far?
About 9 laps to go. I've had to leave. Megan's taken over because I've got to do the Formula One. It's boring, actually. We've had well, first of all, the stream wasn't recorded. The stream wasn't on. So the first start with the huge red flag wasn't on. But luckily, it was recording. So we were able to go back and take it from there. But we're getting ready for the start. So, Jess, I suppose you can introduce who's in the commentary box and I'll put my headset on. But Bagnaia has been transferred to hospital, by the way. Suspected broken leg. So I'll hand over to you, Jess, because we've got about 30 seconds until the start. So you can introduce us.
Yeah, exactly. We've had many great Monza races in the past. Last year, we saw Max Verstappen win. The year before, we saw Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. The year before, we saw Pierre Gasly just about beating Carlos Sainz to victory. Will Sainz be able to do it again, or will we see a completely new winner altogether? Monza, it is like that. And the Tifosi are going crazy. But right now, we're about to go to the world feed.
It's the Italian Grand Prix in 2023, and what a place to be. It is Monza in the middle of the Royal Park. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to what is going to be the 53 laps, which could be the fastest in F1 history. If we're below 1 hour and 14 minutes, it is the fastest F1 race in history, and it is also the last European race of 2023. This fantastic track used to be an oval, then it was an oval and a road course, now it's just a road course separated by 3 different chicanes, 2 DRS zones, but 11 turns in total. Elevation change here is flat, 12.48 metres, and also legendary corner names everybody knows. How about Raikkonen versus Ricciardo? Ricciardo diving on the inside. Raikkonen thought he saw this move before. It happened 10 years before between him and Lewis Hamilton down at the Rettifilo. How about down in the Dalla Roggia chicane? Round the outside, Alonso versus Webber. Wheel-to-wheel stuff in the V8 days as well. Alonso keeping his foot to the floor and getting ahead. And down at Lesmo, number 2, Vettel off the track in 2009 during the race as well. Just proving how difficult it is to get that slightly banked right corner right. Looking at the tyre compounds, Pirelli have brought their fastest tyres here. It's the C5 soft, C4 medium and C3 hard compound tyre. Keep an eye out throughout the race as well for the softest being used. That is also a mandatory race tyre this weekend on the different used weekends. Well, yesterday's qualifying was a delight if you are a Spanish driver. An absolute brilliant runaround. This is how they line up on the starting grid. From back to front, Lance Stroll starts in 20th position with Kevin Magnussen lining up 19th on the grid. 18th for Esteban Ocon with his teammate Pierre Gasly 17th. Renault's worst performance since 2017. Zhou Guanyu starts in 16th with Logan Sargent in 15th position. Couldn't quite get through into the next part of Q3. Valtteri Bottas is 14th. Nico Hülkenberg lines up 13th on the grid as well. 12th for Liam Lawson. 13th for Yuki Tsunoda on the grid in P11. Top 10, Fernando Alonso, followed then by Lando Norris starting in 9th. Lewis Hamilton is 8th on the grid as well. Oscar Piastri alongside him in 7th. 6th on the grid for Alexander Albon. Another good performance. That Williams could be in for a top 5. He's going to have to get through Sergio Perez, who starts 5th. George Russell starts 4th. Charles Leclerc 3rd. Front row, though, it's Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz on pole position for the 4th time in his Formula 1 career. And yes, the 4th time is looking to be the best. Can he get a second race win? Alongside me in the commentary box is our host, Jess Ball, and down there is Josh T. In the pit lane is Omi as well. Jess, thank you very much for doing everything there. Josh T, I've got a job for you in a second to get in as well. But Jess, I'm sure you've been talking to the boys at the pre-show. This is going to be a great race. What are your thoughts coming into today's action?
My thoughts are, let's hope there's no safety cars, touch wood. Well, not many safety cars we saw in the other series, because otherwise Bert Mylander's going to be busy. But Carlos Sainz looking to spoil the record that Max Verstappen could set by reaching 10 race victories in a row. For the Tifosi fans, let's hope one of the Tifosi drivers can win it in front of home soil, which will be amazing. But so many different stories to be told here today. Let's see what happens.
Josh T, I need you to do something for me on StreamYard. I'm sending you my logins. Let's check in on Omi. Omi, Ferrari on pole, not the one you want to know, but what are you thinking?
Hopefully it is a good race. Now, I don't even know what's really been going on because I just really joined about a few minutes ago because I was commentating on a debut winner and a bit of red flag chaos. So,
what for?
Yeah. No, I wasn't commentating MotoGP, by the way. I wasn't doing that. I was commentating a Roblox league, which had a red flag. So, yeah. So
right.
I just ran over from that. But yeah, gonna be an interesting one. Hopefully Leclerc can get past Verstappen at the start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Verstappen dives to the inside of the Rettifilo and gets past Sainz. But it's gonna be a good race.
And away we go then, Jess, on the formation lap, as everyone will get away. What are your expectations on the track, really? Safety cars coming through?
Well, to be honest, it's how they get through turn 1 is going to be the issue. There has been, I think, many changes in this track in the past. There used to be an oval, there used to be quite a big banking. Obviously, it's 70% full throttle as well, which means that there's going to be lots of moves being made early on. A lot of people may want the toe as well. It'll be interesting to see what tyres people start on. I'm sure we will go through that in just a moment. But mediums tend to be the preferred strategy here today, with quite a few other people wanting to start either on the soft or the hard compound tyres. My TB taking a while to load. So we've got The top 7 on mediums. We got Hamilton on used hard tyres. We got Norris, Alonso, Tsunoda, Lawson, Hulkenberg on mediums. Bottas on hards. Magnussen on hards. Everyone else that I didn't mention is on the medium compounder tyres. No softs. Most people on mediums.
So we're going to be in for a very dramatic start when the lights go out in a few moments. Josh T's just doing a job for me as well, which I'm very thankful for as well. So the start procedure is going to be underway as they come through. Verstappen, Ricciardo. Max Verstappen, best qualifying here, was second this season as well. Best race result was first. But his record, Verstappen recorded his first win and first top 4 result at Monza in 2022. 100% record came to an end in 2020. But for Carlos Sainz, his best ever result here was 4th last season. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to look into it. And fingers crossed, there's going to be a lot to make sure this race will be the best we're going to see in a very, very long time.
Well, that cheer.
I know. It's infectious, isn't it? You can hear it coming through on the outside of the circuit. They're coming up onto the starting procedure. Sorry for hearing things coming through. Oh, that's Tsunoda! Tsunoda stopped with a fire. Something's wrong with the car. It's smoking.
No.
And Yuki Tsunoda will not take part in this Grand Prix. Now, is that going to bring out the safety car? Is that going to bring out the safety car?
Failure, engine failure.
Copy. Yeah, they'll have to delay.
Yeah, they're
Engine
going to...
failure for Tsunoda.
They're going to delay the start. They're going to delay the start, for sure.
Yeah. Which
gives us time, yeah.
me more time to get the job done.
Start is delayed.
I know what job you're doing.
Start delayed. Start is delayed. So they are going to delay the start. I thought they might, because they can't let it go. They can't let the field go like that, surely, unless they're going to deploy the safety car immediately.
Because there's someone that could. Unless they get the unless they do the
aborted. Sorry,
start
Jess.
aborted. I want.
Aborted.
Are they going to do another formation lap? There's a big.
Oh, hang on a minute.
This is a bit of a delay, by the way.
Hang on. They've gone before the green lights have come on. So the aborted start have gone, but Carlos Sainz left the grid before he got the green light. That's not allowed. That's not allowed by race control.
Ferrari.
But Leclerc did it also.
Messing up again.
Leclerc did it also. They both just done it. So they've both just jumped the start. Wow. Omi's in the pit lane, if you want to know, by the way. Megan is covering the MotoGP, just let you in know. But Tsunoda's car's properly stuck, and they're going to go off on another formation lap. So it's a 52-lap race. I don't know, Jess. That seems to me a bit desperate that they've aborted the start like that.
Really well in the right-hand corners. So, all good.
Oh, no. Car's not...
Go on, Jess.
Car's not turning really well in the corners. But on data, everything is fine, according
I
to
won't be good
Ferrari.
after this race. I don't think I'll be good after this race.
Omi, look back now.
It's one of these
We got
days.
first. Where is Omi of the day?
People want to know where you are. People want to know where you are. Have you done it, Josh T? Did you get it all sorted?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
First, where is Omi of the day?
Nicely done, Josh T. Nicely done. Could you send me the code, please? Get all sorted. Can you?
Yeah.
Thanks. Brilliant. Sorry, we're having numerous errors here.
What is good?
Right, can you hear us?
Someone can hear the stream twice.
It's me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I can hear you.
Numerous errors here.
What is good?
Right, there we go.
I can hear myself like 20 seconds ago. Never mind.
Someone's controlling the laptop. Go on. Have they removed the car yet?
My team view is off.
No. It's somebody. It's the producers talking to me in my ears, getting through to things as well. The Sky feed, I'm getting loads. The car's still there. They haven't moved the car. Well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? We've got a yellow flag on the formation lap. This is Mohammed Tsunoda. Oh, that's a power unit failure. That's a massive... Look at the steam. Look at the steam from the front. That's a proper blowout for Tsunoda.
Start hydraulics, in it?
It is. Start procedure aborted. Start procedure aborted. Cars to the pit lane. I think they've aborted the
Past the
start.
pit lane.
Well, I think they've aborted the start. No, they've lined up on the grid. Well, what are they going to do? Another aborted start? Oh, this is a fuss. Put out the red flags. This
red flag is needed.
Let's hear from Verstappen.
Okay, Max, we're expecting the race start to be aborted.
It is.
So expecting you to switch your engine off.
Start procedure has been aborted. It's a red flag. Start delayed. Red flag. Start is delayed. So we've got a session delayed function now coming out on the board because they can't. So this is like back in 2000s. This is before. If you were with us in 2004, this is what used to happen, where the start used to be delayed and everybody was allowed back out. So the start procedure has been abandoned. The field will now go through and we will have a whole new start procedure with, I think, a 50% lap race. So the red flag's out, and we're gonna wait for confirmation, because if that's the case, I'll go finish the MotoGP. And well, hang on a minute. Now we've got mechanics coming onto the grid, but there's no official procedure. What's going on here? We've got a mechanic. We've got two mechanics climbing over. Are they Red Bull mechanics? What is going on? We've got.
Wait, no, it's Aston Martin. No, it's Alfa Romeo. It's Alfa Romeo.
It's Alfa Romeo.
Red Bull mechanics are waiting.
We've got
Alfa Romeo.
We've got marshals onto the track before the start has actually been announced. Espargaro's won the MotoGP. I don't believe this. Let's hear from Perez.
What a mess. Why they don't just remove the car?
Believe it is stuck in gear, so having a few issues.
Oh my goodness! So
it's stuck in gear. That's why they couldn't move it.
Well, it's a red flag. Start is delayed. The whole start procedure has been abandoned. So they can't just send the 5 lights. No one will move, and all the cars are off. So what's going on here? Oh, what a mess across every series. MotoGP, Formula 1. There's Tsunoda. He's caused all this. Espargaro's won the MotoGP apparently. So well done, Megan. And
thanks, Megan.
Well, this is ludicrous stuff.
JB.
Oh right, have you sent the link, by the way?
No. Can you check DMs, please? Stuff kind of went bang.
Can I have another code, please? Stuff went bang. Oh, I will go and take care of it in a second. Right, they're opening up the barriers now. Start procedure is delayed. So we've got mechanics out on the track just waiting.
Alfa Romeo, get back out. Oh,
Right.
there's Ferrari as well.
Here we go.
They're all going out.
Right, if you're new to Formula 1, this happened in 2000s. If we used to have an aborted start, the entire field will go back out. I have not seen this procedure in over 20 years. It's not
That's
since
insane.
That
is insane.
Yeah, the last time I saw this procedure was back in Austria. And my phone is buzzing like crazy.
They are moving the car, then we will go for standing start. We will do another formation load now. Yeah, correct.
We don't know how long the race is going to be. Right, Jess, I'm handing it over to you. Red flag is out.
Well, I wish I had the soundboard open, because I would have got the George Morgan clip open. This is absolutely diabolical, because it is, and they're getting Yuki Tsunoda's car out of the way, but I literally don't know what has happened. I'm still quite speechless. When are we going to get a non-controversial session? I don't think we are, Josh. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's absolutely diabolical. It's an absolute mess, and I would get the George Morgan quote up, but I want to get the clean version, not the unclean version, if that makes sense. So Charles Leclerc is getting ready, and this is absolutely diabolical. It's a mess, and yeah. As I think Jess is trying to get the soundboard up real quick, but there's Max Verstappen.
I am trying.
Second on the grid, not first on the grid, not got the pole, but definitely going to be a massive fine there for Alfa Romeo. And we don't normally see this penalty in Formula 1. We normally see this penalty in NASCAR and IndyCar, the penalty being over the wall too soon. Pit crew members over the wall too soon. We don't normally see that here in Formula 1. That's an IndyCar and NASCAR penalty, but it's just happened in Formula 1. This is absolutely insane. There's the missing grid spot there for Yuki Tsunoda. And, well, guys, aborted start procedure. Let's have the driver's parade again, and the national anthem, then all of the build-up. Let's get all the VI. No, I'm joking. That would be absolutely chaotic, and we wouldn't get started, and then we probably would go on till quite late.
It's
There's
absolutely diabolical.
Yeah.
Go on,
absolutely
Jess.
diabolical.
Go on, Jess. Play it in 4. You know you want to.
Okay.
It's absolutely diabolical. They should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. I'm absolutely furious. I have no desire to want to commentate this anymore. It's absolute nonsense, and I want nothing to do with it. Absolutely shocking. I'm fed up with it. Honestly, absolutely shocking.
There we go.
Yep.
And I think the Tifosi, that was good, Tom. And the Tifosi were happy with that joking. Not really.
Yeah. Well, of course, the Tifosi, you have the Orange Army in Zandvoort. Then we come straight here and we have the Tifosi, of course. And look at that. All you can see in the grandstands is red. I don't want to be that one person who's got Max Verstappen orange in the middle of
No.
Alex Albon, the number 23, of course, cool, calm and collective. And I think, shall we go down to the pit wall with Bradley Lord?
Too much temperature.
Yes, because he's starting on the hard compound tyre and going long, the Hail Mary option, as it were, go long and hope for something spectacular at the end of the race.
Yeah, it can lead to a worse outcome, and it can also lead to a better outcome as well. So we've taken that risk with sort of our eyes open, but hopefully it will work out for Lewis. Yeah.
Just to explain that risk, Bradley, that is an early safety car. You can't really, you've got to run too long if you put the mediums on then, yes?
Precisely. An early safety car would put you in a position where others would be able to stop and then switch to the hard tyre and run that probably to the finish, whereas on that hard, you're probably not in a position to take the medium. So it could put him at a disadvantage, flip that scenario to later in the race, and if he hasn't stopped and then that falls to his favour, it could really work out. So, yeah, upside and downside.
Is that pure casino, or is that data-driven somehow, that risk?
It's data-driven. We know where safety cars have fallen historically at this race and in this event. So there's some data behind it, but also willingness to roll the dice a little bit as well and see what happens.
And talk us through your chances today, Bradley. You're not the fastest thing down the straights. You might have a bit more downforce on.
Formation lap will start at 15:20 local, 7 minutes.
It'll be a little bit easier to tell you properly after lap 1 and after the start, but I think George will be hoping to look forward and fight for the podium, and Lewis really to make up as many positions as possible. And the pace is so close on the numbers that we've got that it's very hard to work out who's going to be quicker, who's going to be slower in that pack behind Verstappen and potentially Perez as well. So if it falls in our favour, we may be able to make progress. Otherwise, it could be a bit more of a defensive race, and that's only going to tell as the race unfolds, and as we see also how well people can manage their rear tyres and manage the degradation, because it is the hottest conditions we've had of the weekend so far on the highest fuel loads, and that's certainly going to be a major factor this afternoon.
Fernando Alonso there focusing hard, and Bradley, so what we expect now will be 3 formation laps. That takes away most of the stress if you've underfueled the cars a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it does a little bit. Exactly, but equally, people will be calculating with running in traffic and fueling accordingly, and building a measure of lift and coast plans into it as well. So coming off the throttle before hitting the brakes, in order to look after the tyre temperatures as well. So we'll see how that shakes out, but it should, in theory, make it a little bit more comfortable than it would have been otherwise.
Bradley, thanks ever so much. We'll come back to you in a little while and see how the race is panning out.
So, 7 minutes, now 5 minutes to go, but we are nearly ready. Formation lap will start in 5 minutes, just as I said, for this delayed Italian Grand Prix, just to spice some more things up with all of the chaos we've already had this weekend in the races. There's Valtteri Bottas, and here is the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg, who is currently starting 13th. So Jess, no doubt we're not going to go for the full 53 laps, which might help in the fastest ever race, but the clock has started.
Has the clock stopped?
I don't know. We'll have to ask that to Josh once he comes in, because normally it starts at the... I think it starts at the start of the formation lap, but I don't know.
The mechanics are coming back into the pit lane. And Ted Kravitz.
Speed to get into Q3. He missed it by a few hundredths of a second, and you know it's the first of two dramas. There's Liam Lawson for this AlphaTauri team. The AlphaTauri team, of course, this Faenza team, who have won this Italian Grand Prix at Monza twice before with Pierre Gasly and Sebastian Vettel. But Liam Lawson's wobbly mirror was broken and then fixed on the grid coming here, and then it does seem to be an engine failure. The same power unit, of course, they have in the AlphaTauris, they have in both Red Bulls, so that'll be a concern for Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall. But yeah, otherwise, just some messages to the teams and to the drivers, asking the drivers to relearn all the gears again on the next formation lap, from first through to 7th or 8th, whichever one they're using.
51
all
lap
the electronics,
race.
They need to relearn the gears, so that's something the drivers have to do again on the next formation lap.
So, a graphic just popped up saying 51 laps.
And there's Joshua Birch back in the commentary box. We are starting in a few minutes, Josh.
Well, thankfully I'm here on time. Josh T, thank you, but I've dealt with it now, so you can shut everything off for that one. Utter chaos is what's been happening. Sweating.
Chaos for the whole day so far in all series. Can we just... It's going to be one less lap as well, I believe. So
51.
According to the graphics. Yes.
Yes.
Nice. I've not seen this since 2003's Austrian Grand Prix, the last time we had a delayed start procedure in this type of race. It's really hot in the commentary box now, especially for me as I've been running around. I don't know how Megan's dealing with it right now. She's covered the end of the MotoGP.
I don't know either, but fair play to Megan. We've got quite a few people in the chat.
Hello, everybody.
Saying a few stuff. Fossil's saying Russell for a podium, and he also predicts for a top 5 for Albon, and he also wants Lando for a podium. But there was someone that was saying about the minimum lap time rule and how he doesn't agree with it. So I'm going to read what he said. I was a bit late getting on here. I don't know if you discussed it, but what's the point of having a minimum lap time in qualifying if they don't implement it when the rule is broken?
Well, apparently
because obviously
they didn't break it. Apparently, what was the ruling was, if
it was not your if you were purposely going slow, but if there was someone in front of you that was going slow for a reason and you took necessary precautions to go fast, then you're forgiven. So that's what Ferrari's done.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Go on.
Is it that the lap time is the whole lap, but they only measure safety car line 1, safety car line 2, so it takes out the part of the front stretch which they don't monitor?
Yeah, whereas on TV they monitor something else, I believe, but I'm not entirely sure.
It all depends
Nico
on what they were
Rosberg.
Oh, okay.
Shifts, so you can, have the
No,
engine ready.
and I'm talking about the tweet, Josh.
What did you put out?
Nico Rosberg took a selfie on the grid, and now the start lights are broken earlier on.
The start lights are broken.
Nico Rosberg has cursed one thing this weekend.
Have the start lights broken?
Yeah, they were broken. That's why they also... Yeah, earlier on. That's why they couldn't get going initially.
Ah, so so Tsunoda blew up and the start lights weren't working.
Is the Italian Grand Prix or is that this?
Well,
yeah, they should be fixed now.
Has said that on a tweet.
Session is no longer delayed.
It was who said it.
Away we go then for another formation lap. We are racing again. Sainz on pole, Verstappen alongside Leclerc, Russell, Perez. Tsunoda will now not start this race. But it's been a 20-minute
car grid.
It's been a 20-minute delay, and it's again the same delay we just experienced in MotoGP. Megan's here. Megs, what on earth happened in MotoGP? Aleix took the lead apparently.
Yeah, nothing exciting.
Nah, it wasn't a good race, was it? Bagnaia in hospital though.
It was a good race when you were there.
No spoilers.
No worries, it wasn't that good.
Bastianini has apparently been taken to hospital as well.
He has, yes.
Well, that didn't happen on my watch.
Bastianini 2. Oh dear, that's 2 that were involved in that one. Right, very
It's
hot.
mainly teammates against teammates, not my bit.
All right, well, we'll keep up with that. So, here we go then. Time to see what this
There's only
amazing
3
race will bring. Go on. Go on,
There's
Jess.
only 3 drivers on hards, everyone else on mediums.
And I heard
So
Martin...
that's Hamilton, Bottas and Magnussen.
I heard Martin Brundle was saying about how they could possibly get a cheat around because as the race actually started, the formation laps do count as part of the race, but the 2-hour clock does not start until the 5 lights go out. So we could be on here, everyone, for the fastest F1 race in history around Monza because it's now a 51 lap race rather than 53. That kicks off another 2 minutes.
Good.
So this could be something, but it has been a delay. If IndyCar later is anything other than smooth, I think I might cry.
Now
and,
I think it's going to
the
go
latest.
red flaggy.
Go on.
Yeah, the latest medical info update from MotoGP was that Bagnaia and Enea Bastianini went to the hospital for further check.
Let's hope this race is smooth down towards turn 1. Formation lap is over. 51 laps ahead of us. That's the call. We'll have our driver tracker set. So, it's been a crazy day, hasn't it, Megan? And now you can see, look, they're all backing up. They don't want to...
What exactly happened with Sonoda?
Blew up. The car just started steaming. Or is it too far back? Is it too far forward now?
Yes.
Oh, my word. Right, how's that? Is that okay?
That's worse than before.
Is that better?
The engine.
That's worse than before.
Now?
A little bit.
I can't
The
do anything
pictures
for her.
are messed up at the moment for me.
Yeah, it's trying to do several things as well. Sorry, my fault. So the computer's just got... Okay, we haven't got a driver tracker on the main screen.
This will do.
Okay, right. Oh, well, this is going well, isn't it? Let's get a start going, shall we?
I think I just accidentally kicked this on.
Yeah, that's probably it. Why are the TV pictures not there? Oh, come on, please, Discord, thank you.
Do you want me to turn this off?
Yes, Megan's hit the heater on. No wonder I was roasting in here.
I think I only just did it.
Megs, stand up. Here we go.
But apparently Fate wants us to have the heater on.
Finally, we can get the Italian Grand Prix going. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Action at Monza! Good start from Carlos Sainz, good start from Max Verstappen, but it's Ferrari who are ahead! And Verstappen blocks off Leclerc, down to the Rettifilio, Alexander Albon's on the outside line, Leclerc's on the inside line, into the Rettifilio we go, Verstappen in P2, Sainz leads, look at this end, Russell battling for 4th, Albon's dropped down 4 places from where he started, terrible start from him, but look at George Russell, as we come round the Curve de Grande, he's on the inside line, down towards Talleroggia, he pulls to the outside line. Can Sainz hold off? Yes, he can. The front. Can Leclerc hold off? Yes, Leclerc stays third.
Smoke bomb.
Smoke bomb in the background. That's okay. Finally, the Italian Grand Prix can get underway, and it's a good start. Look at the McLarens battling. Albon is out. Piastri's ahead of Albon now as well as they come through the back half of the track, but all is well for Ferrari. They lead at Monza.
At the start, I saw Sargent go off a tiny bit and touch the grass going around the first corner.
Looking at the start once more, perfect getaway from Alexander Albon, but it was the second phase. He got blocked by Perez. Perez forced him off the track, gave him absolutely no room. Piastri right round the outside of everybody. Perfect getaway from them. Hamilton got blocked in towards turn 1 as well. Lando very nearly hit him. Fernando Alonso doing extremely well. He's up to 11th place now, starting down in 13th. But finally, the race can start as they approach up towards turn 1. Tsunoda's out of the race. Lap 2 starting now. It's Sainz leading, Jess, and Verstappen, try as he may, couldn't get it. Is today's Ferrari's day?
Well, it's only lap 1, Josh. Anything can happen.
Indeed it can. Josh T, great start. What do you think?
Yeah, surprising. Everybody made the turn 1 and 2 chicane without having to cut it, which was quite surprising, as I'm sure every single other race there.
Albon on the
At least
inside
someone
line.
has. Here is Albon on Piastri.
Albon on the inside line. It becomes the outside line for the Talleroggia chicane. Piastri's going to have to back out of it. Alexander Albon goes through. Albon goes through for 6th place. That Williams didn't have the best getaway, Megan, but he's having a good start.
Yeah, everyone just seems quite separated in this.
Too far away, yeah.
I was about to say that.
Verstappen is already a second behind Carlos Sainz. A full second in this running order at the moment. Sainz leads from Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Albon coming through at the mix at the moment. Then we get Piastri, Norris, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, the top 10. Hamilton's up to 9th place from where he started as well. And now we're on board with the 7-time champion. Oh, so he's dropped down, is he? Oh, right. Hamilton's really bad now at the start as he comes through. Into the parabolic.
He was on hard tyres.
DRS is activated, so yeah, Lewis is the only one. Oh, and Bottas on hard tyres and Magnussen. So they're the three you mentioned earlier on, Jess, at the original start. DRS enabled. It's a 51-lap race, remember. It's a quick race as well if we don't have any safety car infringement, but Monza likes to play tricks on you. Monza likes to have unpredictable running. And Sainz again holding the front battles as we look further back. Sainz from Verstappen by 8 tenths. Leclerc's in there too as we take a look at the start.
Right, over back we can see a marshal going off. That's strongly against the rules. It was the time of a red light.
Gasly had a terrible start, sorry Megan.
He did, though obviously you talked us through what happened at the start. I like to look at the back. Here we can see a little bit of contact between Sargent. They're going off, making contact with the person in front of him, which is Gasly, as you just said. So a little contact there. Further up, obviously we're on board with Max Verstappen now. He did not have the greatest of starts. He did try and get past Carlos Sainz in preparation for going round turn 1, though he quickly was cut off by that fact. The only way he could possibly have got round him was going off the track. Here is Pierre Gasly.
Good get away from him. He is down in 17th place, but look at the melee. That was Perez just ahead, blocking off the side of Albon, and it was just a mess coming into turn 1. How they all got through the Rettifilio, I don't know. And there's a little contact, you said, between Sargent and Gasly. And Jess, great start. Great getting away from everyone. Very clean after that long delay.
Yeah, I'm very glad that they went through that chicane unscathed, which is awesome, which shows that they are really talented F1 drivers. Like I said, Lawson has remained in 12th position right now, so he's not doing too bad. DRS activated, remember, so it's a chance for people to really start pushing. And maybe Verstappen could get past Sainz, because Verstappen has set the fastest lap of the race so far. There's other drivers that are looking quite close, as Magnussen's been passed by Lance Stroll in the background. So the hards, well, it's not good right now, is it?
Yeah, they ain't looking good.
No.
Omi?
And,
oh, sorry, Justy, go on.
Yeah, and you know how the Alpine, they've had a lot of teammate collisions. Well, they were banging wheels quite heavily on lap 1, turn 1.
They were.
They are still not being able to break away from each other.
How's it go? Oh, Verstappen ready?
He's already sliding a bit, so all okay.
Has been
Max. Just be sensible for the moment.
Has been
So just be sensible for the moment.
What do you mean sliding?
Well, his rear stepping out. Ferrari are struggling at the moment with oversteer and understeer. The car just doesn't want to do one or the other, so it's doing both at the same time. And
well, I hope Max's tyres degrade.
Leclerc and Sainz have both said how difficult this is to drive a Formula 1 car, and it really is proving to be. Max might take the lead here. Omi, you might want to look away soon because DRS active, and Verstappen's reeled in 4 tenths on that last lap alone.
Yeah,
absolutely, the DRS being very powerful, so
Omi,
I might need to look away soon.
Omi, Josh, not you, Josh. Omi, go on, Omi.
Well, all I was going to say is, yeah, Verstappen now with the DRS can easily make this pass, so I'm probably going to look away soon. And the only time I'll watch that back is when I listen to Alex Jake's commentary, so...
And now... and now, Josh T.
Yeah, Romy doesn't care about science.
He doesn't.
All he cares about is his golden boy Leclerc.
And Jakesy.
And Jakesy.
And Jakesy, yeah.
Alonso's had his lap time deleted for track limits turn 10, lap 3, Megan, as we see. Is Verstappen going to take the lead here? He's going to, isn't he?
Probably, but I hope he crashes out after.
The Monza curse. To be fair, they've tried throwing everything at him, haven't they? Delayed starts, three formation laps, 2 delayed starts, and Ted to the pits.
How about hydraulics issues?
Yeah.
Max Verstappen.
Well, Max is closing him in 11.9 metres as they come in towards the Parabolica. DRS is active on this lap. If you're a Ferrari fan, you may want to turn off your screens now because it's DRS open for Max Verstappen, reeling him in little by little as soon as it's open down towards turn 1 of the Rettifilio. Ocon to the and there we go. Verstappen around the outside. Sainz gonna hold him! Verstappen! It's like 2021 all over again! But this time Sainz knows what to do! He forces Max wide! Max stays second! Sainz is racing!
He really is.
He is, and Omi left at the wrong time. Omi, get back!
Omi,
There you
it's
go.
okay! Omi, it's fine! He's still leading! He's still leading! And this is great!
Oh, how?
Watch! Verstappen!
Look at this!
Come on.
Megan, this was like 21 again. Verstappen went around the outside, but
got very close. That if they had hit each other, then one that would be a repeat of him and Hamilton. Verstappen radio.
Was it naughty?
No, that was naughty from you, Max. Because do you know what you're not meant to do? You're not meant to go round the out. You're not meant to go round the inside of someone while going round a corner, because that's also braking and passing a driver when you're going round a corner. Going round the outside, fine, not the inside.
it's exactly the same as... I've never seen you so red in the face. It's exactly like 2021 all over again. Here's Sainz.
Good move.
I agree. Good move. Good boy.
I like that move from Sainz. Come on.
He'd learned from...
We want Leclerc to catch up now. Come on, Leclerc.
Verstappen shouldn't have been... Why hasn't he been told he's not meant to do that? Because you're not meant to go round
because
the
they
inside
think it's
of someone on
okay,
the inside
that's
of
why.
point, going off the track.
Jess is right. He thinks it's okay. And look, Leclerc's involved too. Oh dear racing gods of those above, please let us have a good Grand Prix. We've been starved all year of a proper good Grand Prix. And right now it's a Ferrari 1-3 on home soil. And Verstappen is stuck in the middle of them. The Ferraris don't have good power, but it's a question of if Verstappen can get through, not when, for the first time in 14 races.
No, SS is lap time deleted.
And that is track limit at turn 7. That's coming through Lesmo 2, which is right here at the exit of the track. So Lesmo 2 having a bit of a moment as well. Please, just be good for once. Just be good. Sorry, we're just...
Perez, by the way, is catching up to Russell. So Perez is having a good race so far. But ideally, he should have got past Russell and Leclerc at the start. But guess what? He didn't do it.
Now, does it help that I flew out to Monza and I took those out of Max Verstappen's car this morning?
You're better off. Do you know what? Since praying that he crashes out or has a hydraulics issue doesn't seem to work, I hope you do loads of illegal moves to try and get the win of the race and then get, like, penalties galore and then it's taken away from you.
This is allowed Leclerc to get closer.
I've never seen you so angry, Megan.
Megan is furious right now. I've never seen her so angry. DRS open for Max Verstappen once more as he wheels him in towards the Rettifilio.
Because he did that move once before and it got him crashed and he didn't get anything.
Oh, there's Perez on Russell, but he can do it.
Perez tried to look round the outside, can't do it.
That's what you're meant to do.
Know when not to go defensive. Don't choke yourself on your own headset.
Yeah, Perez has done the right thing there. He's being smart. And he's right on the back of Russell into Curva Grande as well for the 8th time in this race. The Ferrari of Sainz still managing to stay ahead, but Russell keeping ahead of Sergio Perez for now. Pretty much the top 5 running in the league of their own right now. Everyone else is 3 seconds behind them.
Hands up if you care about anybody else behind at the moment, apart from Albon.
I care about Albon and the 2 McLaren. Shush.
Everybody else.
Alonso ain't gonna win.
Alonso's down in 10th. He's moved ahead of Hulkenberg, but
if you win, I'll eat an entire ice cream in a second. Well, no, 1 minute.
Right, let's clip that. Let's clip that.
1 minute.
Are you on about tub of ice cream or Cornetto?
Cornetto. We have one in the fridge.
Right, okay.
I'll eat one of those in a minute if you win today's race.
Give it to me.
Right,
I guarantee you won't.
I'd just like to point out that back in 2020, Gasly was running at 1 point 14th in the race and still won.
Yeah. And that's Bottas right now.
Oh, yeah, it's Bottas right now. Bottas has never won this race. He's finished a best result of second in 17 and 19. Right, attempt 2. He's backed off. I swear he backed off there, but he's going to have a run on it.
No, he hasn't. He's going to try and go to the inside line into the chicane. No, he doesn't do it.
Oh, has he been secretly told off?
Yeah, he's backed off slightly there, so I thought...
Yeah, and he did it right just then.
Yep, and Sainz holds the lead through the Rettifilio. I thought as well. Oh, here's Russell.
Russell.
And George suggests more management 6, turn 6.
Do you want to put a seal?
Sergio.
So I've got a car right up my... Yeah, who's he being chased by? Oh, yeah, Sergio
That's going to be
Perez.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's Perez right up his bumper as well. I'll tell you what, though, Josh, this is an amazing race so far, isn't it? We've finally got a classic this year. We've had to wait for it, but it's starting to come alive, and we deserve it, really, and it's a good race between all the top teams. And look who's not involved. Oh, yeah, a certain GOAT. Lewis Hamilton's not in this fight.
Meh.
Hamilton's not in this fight. Megan just went... Megan's bird.
Megan,
Go.
you are evil today, but Max Verstappen, he's going to try one more time going down towards the turn 1.
Here we go.
Will he do it?
Well, he's going to have the DRS coming out of the parabolic up.
Verstappen.
Radio.
Mode 8.
Mode 8 is go, go, go. It's push, push. They have a lot of top speed for bleep's sake, says Verstappen. Move over, you can feel him saying as well. The Dutch, he wants to go through. He wants to look on the inside line. Can't pass there, I'm afraid. And look at the clear. They're staying with him. This will be a pit stop race. You can feel it coming.
Did he just really say the person in front of him has a lot of speed? Of course he has a lot of speed.
He's ahead of you.
It's Monza.
He's struggling with the rear, Max, a lot.
He's struggling with the rear a lot, but
No,
Max,
he isn't.
He looks fine to me.
They're just telling him that to, like, cheer him up. He's not a 2-year-old.
Yeah. Megan, you are blowing my headphones apart. Volume.
My ears are hurting.
Then turn me
Oh
down.
my God.
I'm actually resetting
Sorry,
Megan's
everybody
voice.
who's on headphones.
I'm actually resetting Megan's voice because I think she's too loud. Try again, Megan.
I don't think I am.
There we go. That's okay now.
Bloody hell.
For minutes, Max might do something wrong again.
Max probably will try something at least into the braking zone. What an amazing... Look at the Tifosi. They're loving this. We're loving this. It's a race like no other. Here, this amazing Italian Grand Prix. I'm turning my cargo shorts in... Well, I'm turning my... I've pulled up my leg shorts just to try and get some breeze. It's so hot in this commentary box. I should have worn shorts in this one. Karen loves
Do you think
Megan.
Ferrari are running less downforce than Red Bull?
There's something going on here, especially down the straights. How are Ferrari keeping away Red Bull? Red Bull, as you know, Jess, they have the best DRS and they can't get through. And even Perez is stuck behind Russell. How much longer, though? Russell goes defensive on the inside line. Perez down the outside line. And look under braking. How much that Mercedes can claw back. Red Bull really struggling this weekend, and I've got no idea why. They weren't fast in qualifying, they weren't fast in practice. I don't know what it is, Jess, but their DRS is not working well. 2 seconds, Jess. Oh, Gasly's into the pits. That's a bad weekend for Alpine getting worse. So, Jess, do you think the DRS is a problem for Red Bull at this track?
Oh, look at
a lot
that.
of smoke.
On the brake
That's a
ducts.
look up already. Yeah, the brake. So that was an issue for Gasly, but yeah. Either with the DRS, it's just not helping them. So maybe it's a track that maybe they would have wanted a little bit less downforce, but it may have compromised the cornering speed in the Lesmos potentially as well, because he's still able to keep up with George Russell in the corners. And you can see Carlos Sainz, even though he's not fastest, he's able to keep ahead of Verstappen in high speed, which is what we want to see as well. Lewis Hamilton is on the back of Norris. So when was the last time we saw that? Oh yeah, British Grand Prix. And was that great? Of course it was. But this time it's only for 8th place.
Thank you. I can't believe Megan turned the heater on for like 5 minutes.
It wasn't 5 minutes.
Did he? Did she?
Yeah, well, she put the heater on for a minute or two. It was boiling now.
That's fine.
Door is open to the box. Like, here comes Verstappen once again down towards turn 1. He'll have the DRS. Can he get a slipstream manoeuvre anywhere near? I really don't think he can. In towards the Rettifilio. And look at Russell again.
Perez
going
on
defensive.
Russell.
Perez around the outside line. No, still can't do it.
Yay, fail.
I'm going to say, have you just got beef with Red Bull this
Perez
weekend?
has got to go a different line because Russell always posts the door to his right.
They haven't lost one yet. I'm rooting for them to lose at least one.
Well, Max Verstappen has won 46 races, 29 pole positions and 90 podiums as well in his career. Red Bull...
Joe in the pits.
Joe, okay, now that's interesting. Gasly went on to hard compound tyres, so has Joe.
Very true.
What's
very,
that?
very true.
I
am
don't blame her.
sick
She's
of
probably
it.
sick of seeing Red Bull win every race. Susan's right there.
Sick of it.
So stop for Gasly, 5.9 seconds.
Couldn't get the jack up on the front.
jack.
Yeah, it was stuck, wasn't it? It wouldn't go underneath the wing. And
Probably because Gasly absolutely rammed straight into it.
What's Alonso done?
Nothing as far as I'm concerned.
He's passed Hulkenberg on lap,
Yay.
on lap 8 there on the inside. That was ages ago that we've seen that. So, lap 12 of 51. It's Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Perez, top 5, Albon, Piastri, Norris, Hamilton and Alonso in the top 10. Look at the battery energy on the last lap. 70% was deployed for Verstappen. Only 50% was deployed for Sainz. So Verstappen's trying everything and still can't get through.
Megan. Oh my God.
Starting to cheer up the fact that you're doing this one?
No, the fact that he's tried everything and he still can't get through.
Perez must be doing the same with Russell though. They're staying quite identical to each other.
Are they feeling just a little bit down? Here's Russell.
Undercut will be very powerful, I think. Copy that, George.
Yeah, it will be.
Oh. Don't give Red Bull mind games.
I've got a feeling that this race win is going to be won or lost in the pit lane.
Yep. Strategy Grand
Verstappen
Prix.
slid on the exit of Lesmo 1.
And he's wide at Lesmo 2 as well. He's completely out of shape, but he's got the DRS down towards Ascari. Can Verstappen get anywhere near the toe? He's pulling him back a little bit. Can almost reach out to the screen. Omi's not happy at the moment.
Omi, I thought you were in bed.
No, why would I sleep in this one until Verstappen's taking the lead?
Max, see that gravel? Go onto it. Oh.
Well, Max has 2 retirements here, of course, 20 and 21.
Verstappen's really close to Carlos Sainz in this moment with the Aberrata curve, also known as Parabolica, but I still like to call it Parabolica. As the Tifosi are trying to cheer on their home favourite Carlos Sainz. Verstappen's going to try for the room. It's towards turn 1.
Verstappen's going to have... Oh, he's lifting. Verstappen goes defensive on the inside line. So does Sainz. No, it's not it. There's something wrong with that Red Bull every time.
Well, one Red Bull.
Perez and Russell are off the track. They both go off.
They
has to get back position.
They both cut.
Lawson in the pit lane. He has to get back position.
Perez has to give the place back to Russell as Sainz in the battle with Verstappen down towards Dalla Rossia. I don't think there'll be a mover there.
Go on, Checo, give it back now.
Yes, he has. Down into Dalla Rossia. Fair move.
You still can't get the position.
Perez radio.
I think he was told.
I don't think he did push him off. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
You both ran off the track together. It was a simple thing, but here comes Verstappen again.
Is that
with the
Red
DRS.
Bull's excuse to act like a child?
Let's look at the replay.
Perez is alongside. Oh, he's locked up. No, he didn't push him off. What are you doing, Perez? You moron. You locked up. He didn't push you off.
I saw the smoke, you idiot.
He locked up. That is the most stupid thing I think Perez has ever said in his life.
I don't
And
know
he signed
why
a Red Bull
Russell
contract.
cut the corner though.
That's why he's stupid. As soon as you sign to Red Bull, you'll
Did
lose
Perez
loads
follow
of races.
Russell?
I think he. No,
did Russell follow Perez? Sorry.
Yeah, I think Russell followed Perez.
I
and
think he
forgot
thought
the
it was
corner.
the track.
Here comes Max Verstappen once again though. DRS active down towards turn 1. Over 700 metres they've got towards the braking zone. Sainz looking in his mirrors once more. Verstappen goes left, goes right. Sainz just puts him and locks up. And Verstappen locks up. They both made turn 1 though. But they both have a lock up. Verstappen gets a better exit. He goes on the outside towards the Curve de Grande. Sainz on the inside, forcing him off. Verstappen side by side through Curve de Grande. Who's going to come out on top? Sainz is faster into the braking zone. Verstappen will go lay on the brakes through the chicane, wheel to wheel, and Verstappen takes the lead. Crash! But Sainz is on the comeback. Sainz trying to get through. Goes left, goes right. Verstappen blocking him at every turn. It's like Hakkinen and Schumacher in 1998. Verstappen leads.
That was a good move. That was a good move.
But
I have
Sainz...
to be fair, that was really good.
Sainz has got the DRS now. Is Verstappen going to be able to just leap away into the distance? It's not over yet.
He's pulling away already.
Oh, 0.6. Wow.
Both Red Bulls locked up at the same exact point. No other car did that.
Their brake bias is wrong on the car, isn't it? It's set up wrong to go straight on the brakes.
Which means they have a problem.
Yeah.
They both have a problem.
Set up issues. Got to be set up.
Which also means that.
But don't forget, Tsunoda had a power unit failure earlier on.
Norris.
Red Bull worried about that, Norris.
I'm just a lot quicker. I was ready to pick up the pace.
Team radio. Okay, Lando, we are looking at that. So team order coming.
Not wrong.
Right.
It's not wrong.
Look at the marshals cheering on the Ferraris at the back, and here comes Perez on Russell this time.
Albon pits.
Perez is going to go to the inside line. He's off the track. He's touching the grass. It's wheel to wheel with the Mercedes, and Perez this time goes ahead. But was he all four wheels off the line? Did he go off the track to complete that move? I don't think the stewards are going to like that. You're not allowed to use that curb during the Grand Prix, only on lap 1. You're not allowed to use that. Perez might be told to get that place back. He overtook him off the track.
And they can't even say anything about it.
Russell's going round the outside, trying to have a go into Delaroche. It hasn't worked out.
They can't say anything about it either. They can't say he didn't go off because it's computer automated.
And yeah, it is computer. And we all watched it.
Albon is pitting and maybe he's going to go hard to the end, the tyre whisperer maybe?
Could do, probably will do. Let's take a look at Verstappen. So they're both locked up. He got so much more drag, Megan, coming out the corner. And in clear air, the Red Bull's good. It's like the old Mercedes.
Wait.
Was there a touch? Did Verstappen actually give him enough room? Sainz was a bit too far ahead there.
DRS is used for Sainz, though not for Verstappen.
Saw DRS zone through turn 3. That's quite interesting. We're looking at the rear wheel now. At the rear wing.
They both look up.
At the exit.
Verstappen less than Sainz though.
You're right, Megan. That DRS opens. Ever so slightly, it opens. 1.4 seconds now. Verstappen's pulled out the front. No, it's not right. You're right. That's weird. Super weird.
Maybe it just came open accidentally.
Yeah.
Anthony Davidson in Sky Race control.
Managed the situation. I'm not surprised he pitted early because he had the threat from the McLarens behind him. They were within DRS zone striking distance before he pitted. So hopefully they can manage that down at Williams.
Cheers, Anthony. Well, that's why Albon's come in and dropped down in position. Sonoda's returned to the pit lane now, we're being told. So his car's back in. Simple go back round for the paddock. There's Fred Vasseur, Megan. How impatient is he going to be? If he doesn't get a race win here, do you remember what happened with Matteo Binotto? Yeah.
Fired.
Because he didn't win the Grand Prix when they were in a position to do so. They had pole here last year, remember, Charles Leclerc. It's going to be a very chaotic race to come through. I'm just double checking that actually. Yeah, Leclerc had pole position here in 22 as well. Didn't win. Finished 4th for 2021 and finished 2nd last year in 2022. On board with the Ferrari. This is of Charles Leclerc now, actually, we're on board with. And he tries to get back into the zone. Was that Jess?
Yeah, looking faster than Carlos Sainz in some parts of the track.
I think the tyres are starting to go. Ferrari not designed for this power unit circuit that much, and Leclerc's on the radio going to ask the same thing.
Understood.
There we go. So Red Bull weren't wrong with the Ferrari car struggling to drive on the rears.
Let me through, basically, wasn't it? It's a team order. Let me through.
Either that or pit or we lose.
17 laps they've done on these tyres. If it's a one-stop race, they want to be going to around about lap 23 on these mediums. Maybe even lap
hard.
Maybe
to make it through it.
Yeah, it would be a hard tyre, really, wouldn't it? I don't know anyone go to soft because they use them on the quali.
Yeah, soft is not a good idea.
So if you, let's say tyres are nearly finished, yeah.
Yeah, pit now, go on to hard. It'll make up the difference because you won't have to pit for longer.
If I was Ferrari,
then you'd make the wrong decision.
Yeah, exactly. If I was Ferrari's strategy department right now, I wouldn't do what I was about to say because, I'm not Ferrari, but I would box them, change them now, and I would do Sainz now and Leclerc a lap later. Let Verstappen think he's got track advantage and then just settle into a rhythm. And then you've got the race. Because Verstappen...
Or maybe they got a setup which is not designed for tyre wear.
Yeah, it's so confusing at the moment. So Albon's pitted, 2 old tyres, 2-lap-old hards. Sargent, 3-lap-old hards. Hulkenberg, 3-lap-old hards. Gasly, 7-lap-old hards. Magnussen started to 12 laps on the hard. Now he's on 5-lap-old brand new mediums as well in the tyre compounds at the moment. So the race starting to quieten down now as well. And Josh, tyres from this weekend, we haven't seen anything. I would box now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would box now as well. Just quickly, Paul in the chat is saying, do we think there will be many driver lineup changes? The answer is no, because everyone except 1 seat at Williams, 1 seat at Alpha, and both seats at Alpha Tauri have been confirmed in everyone. is their lineup for this year. So Sargent's seat haven't been confirmed. Zoe's seat haven't been confirmed, and then of course both the AlphaTauri, so 4 not 3.
So Verstappen by 4.4 seconds within 2.5 laps. Red Bull just doesn't do well in traffic, so do you know what we need now? Red flag. I was going to say safety car, but that works. Something to stop us and change the tyres.
Do we want safety car or do we want fastest F1 race ever?
I'll tell you what I want right now. Ferrari are going to do it. Hello. Hello. Ferrari. Megan Norris is going to retire. They're doing it. Hang on. Perez is pitting too.
That's a bad thing.
Ferrari are actually making good strategy calls.
Russell too.
And Russell in too. And did Perez go through? Yeah, Perez has gone through. Red Bull haven't done it. Perez has stayed out. So Ferrari come in, do a nice stop.
No, it's not a good pit stop.
No, it was to 3.3. Oh, it was slow actually, 3.3.
That's okay. They've got Leclerc keeping it warm.
Russell had to do 2.6, but Sainz, it doesn't matter too much as we're going to be hard tyres. Now, would this be Perez or Verstappen? Who would you box first if you were Red Bull?
Perez. You don't want your main ones.
No, Verstappen to cover off Sainz.
It's too early to cover off. If Verstappen's happy with those tyres...
It'll be Perez because they want to test out the tyres, see how they do on the track first.
They've got no other data.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got no other data.
Why did Perez not come in? Because Perez knows that maybe neither Russell was going to come in, and George even said on the radio that the undercut was going to be powerful.
Outlap critical. We need that. So Sainz has got to switch these tyres on immediately.
Have you noticed how every single team pits their second driver first?
Yeah, that's what I've noticed at the moment as well. Verstappen, box, it's Max.
Hamilton's on hards, so of course he wouldn't pit yet.
He started on it as well, but look at this.
That's their mistake.
This is the mistake. Leclerc,
Surely
box.
Perez needs to come in.
Perez can't.
Verstappen.
Why, I would box Perez instead of Verstappen if Leclerc's coming in, but Verstappen's already in now, and Leclerc goes through. Perez takes the lead, and that's to cover off Sainz.
But then Perez would have to pit after, which means Piastri has a net lead of a race.
No, it's unsafe release. Oh, it's just safe. Just safe. 2.5 seconds from Verstappen. Ferrari due in. Good stop. 2.9, I reckon it was. 2.3. Faster than Red Bull.
Piastri has a net lead of a race.
Yeah.
Because they need to pit Perez next.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't pitted. No, Piastri hasn't pitted yet.
Hamilton.
Yeah, no, he's not making to pit anytime soon.
But does Leclerc come out ahead of Carlos Sainz down towards turn 1? That's the critical thing. It's side by side. Don't come together, guys. Sainz comes out ahead of Leclerc. And now the two Ferraris can work together. That's good. That is good. Come on, boys. Work together and get yourself up there.
But that's Bottas right in behind.
Yeah, Bottas in 9th. But Leclerc wants to fight with Carlos. He's going to go try around the outside and Della Rosia. That's not it, guys. That's not it. Charles, stop being an idiot.
Don't squabble. You're going to lose time on Verstappen.
The outlap is so critical here. But Verstappen... Yeah, Verstappen's got it. Verstappen leads by how many seconds? 5.5.
Technically...
He gained a bit of time in the pit stop.
He did.
Technically, McLaren hasn't shown any sign of weakness yet, and Hamilton's on hard tyres, so he won't be pitting just yet. So technically, Piastri has a net lead, and then
George
Hamilton.
gets past Bottas, maybe to the inside of the.
Ocon and Russell.
I think he gets past.
Perez pits in the lead. Now this will be crucial. Does he come out ahead of the two Ferraris?
Turn 2 incident involving cars 63 Russell and 31 Ocon noted, leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Alonso comes in, Perez takes the net lead of the race. Now, if we have a safety car right now, this benefits Piastri, Norris and Hamilton massively.
Piastri's first lead.
And the two Ferraris are coming through. Yeah, Piastri's first to the lead. And they've jumped Perez! And Leclerc's wanting to have a go on Sainz into turn 1.
They've separated the Red Bulls.
They've separated them. Good point. So now Red Bull are really in trouble because Perez has lost his wingman. Alonso was in again, 3.1 seconds. So was that Stroll in the lap before?
It's a lot. No, Stroll pitted.
Yeah. Stroll pitted the lap
has
before.
pitted.
Yeah, Stroll was the lap before. Hang on a minute.
So the only one to
Aston have double stacked. Aston have double pitted because they've both just left the pit lane. Yeah. There's Hamilton.
Ocon, Bottas, Hamilton, Norris and Piastri haven't stopped. There's 5 drivers that haven't stopped yet.
A well-timed... Hamilton has the net lead of the race, in my opinion. hard tyres.
He doesn't need to.
Looking good. Yeah, he can go long in this race.
And there's gonna be, if there's a safety car, he's pretty much in a good position.
He's golden.
What we now need is a safety car around about lap 36.
Well, my prediction is Lando apparently crashing first, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't know. I didn't have time to ask that.
Lando boxes. Lando boxes. Megan looked at the timing screen and thought, where's he gone? He's in the pit lane.
Yeah, he's boxing, Megan. He's boxing.
So there's the two Ferraris as Lando pits, and yeah, so the undercut's now massive.
Who's the other person?
Oh.
What?
Sainz, fastest lap.
Sainz, 125.58.58.
Where am I pointing to?
You're pointing to Bottas. Turn 2 involving Russell and Ocon is now under investigation for leaving the track and gaining an advantage, and they are going to investigate that right now by the stewards.
Oh, right.
Brave call, that, isn't it?
Right now.
Say again, Amy?
I basically just went off for a bit once Verstappen got past. So, like, what's happened? How is Perez so close?
Pit stops.
So Perez just got closer to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ferrari got their strategy right. Red Bull have got their strategy wrong.
I bet those are words you never thought you'd say.
Right.
This is.
So this was the incident then. So did he cut the? Wait. So did he cut the?
Russell. Yeah, Russell forced Ocon
Yeah.
off. Yeah, that's Russell's fault. Then again, Ocon he should have really, but I don't know. No, that's Russell's fault.
Wait, was that lockup?
Yeah, Russell should get a penalty for that.
Yeah, he's over. I thought he might have taken off Ocon as well, but he didn't. So yeah, that is a penalty, unfortunately, coming the way for George Russell. Might be at least told to give the place back. Piastri pits. Hamilton takes the lead.
How is he going to do it?
So
how do you do it, Ocon 10th?
I know, it's really hard to do now, isn't it?
I could have sworn I saw a slight lockup from Russell.
It will be a time penalty then for Bottas. Sorry, for Russell. They'll drop him behind
Russell
Bottas
did lock
as well.
up in the Ocon incident.
Yeah. So
did he?
Piastri's come out side by side with Lando Norris. Lando's on the outside, and they're in contact. The two teammates hit each other. Front rear tyre of Piastri touches the rear tyre of Lando Norris. Both continue on, but it was wheel rubbing between the two teammates. Luckily, there's no damage.
That was lucky.
And George Russell has been given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Megan.
Not surprised.
Joshua was back in 2021 for that moment. I was. Yeah. Flashbacks. Someone play Fortunate Son. Not really fortunate right now for these two. Look at this, Megan. That's Piastri's fault, isn't it? Not Lando's. Pit lane is so. Oh, here we go. Look, Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton for the lead of a Grand Prix.
Do us a favour, crash him out.
Lewis is on 23-lap-old hard tyres. Verstappen is on 3-lap-old hards. But here we go again, down towards the Retafilio. They're going to go side by side. Anybody want to go again?
Oh, no.
Round 2, ding ding, into turn 1, and this time Verstappen learns to go around the outside, but Hamilton's on a slipstream with him. Max Verstappen once again takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Hamilton down into second position. Beautiful. As look, the Ferrari. Hey! Ferrari! Lewis Hamilton, you are going to receive a box of the finest wine from Mattia Binotto for expertly holding up Verstappen, because here come the Ferraris.
They probably are going to receive a lot of
Not
food.
Mattia
Wait, what's this?
Binotto, Reggie for sure.
Noted the incident between Norris and Piastri causing a collision.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, didn't we? That's unfortunate.
Ocon 2.6 seconds. Good stop.
Yeah, it's under investigation for causing a collision. So there
I'm
it is.
thinking a
That was only the slightest touch.
Sure, yeah.
I know, it really was, wasn't it?
6 laps.
It's almost not even worth talking about. It was that small of a contact.
Exactly. I don't get it.
I'd put 6 laps time.
6 laps to what? Contact.
Perfect time.
For
A yellow.
Yeah.
Safety car?
Yeah.
It's just enough time that you don't have too little of a race to actually try and get up in position. Just enough time that you can actually have a pit stop and it be a decent one. And it's it is just enough time to get enough gap.
Oh, Perez on Charles Leclerc, Josh.
Oh no.
Perez trying to go around. He's too far back. This will be a late lunge, if anything, because Leclerc's got the DRS. Perez thought about it, but no.
Bottas pits.
Oh, Perez is all over the road as Bottas, as Megan says, comes into the pit lane.
That win from Perez.
Yeah?
Bouncy.
So it's just Hamilton that's yet to box.
Apparently, yeah.
Bottas
Yes.
pits.
Tsunoda was out of the race, yeah, and Ocon's just pitted, so Hamilton, the last one to come into the pit lane, and he's holding off a long time. This is Ocon, this is Piastri coming out of the pit lane and making contact with Lando Norris. I think this is, does Piastri lock up? Down, down, down.
Racing
Noted.
Yeah, that'll be nothing.
Yeah, Piastri's fault.
He was coming out the pit lane. He had literally, it was in his racing line. He couldn't help himself.
It was kind of similar to the Russell and Perez incident, except the fact that Piastri didn't cut it, so it might be a slap on the wrist.
I would let it go.
I would let it go.
Yeah, same.
He
But
mean to.
he didn't cut the circuit, so he's fine.
Yeah. No penalty. No one disadvantages, in my opinion. Yeah, no one was. And also the teammates. They're not likely going to request an investigation unless the stewards want to open it themselves. It's their case. But
besides, it was in his racing line.
Has Russell served his penalty yet? No.
No, he's going to serve it at his next pit stop.
Or
if he pits again. Or it will get added at the end of the race.
Yeah. So that could change still as they come through. So Verstappen leads.
Russell would want a safety car.
Russell wants the safety, yeah, to come in, change tyres. If we get a yellow, it will go 110% to that of soft tyres. Everyone's got a new set left. So they will immediately go in and just take it. Gosh, it's all getting rather exciting, isn't it, this one?
This race has gone very quickly so far.
Insanely quick as they come through.
Everyone's pitted except Hamilton.
We've been racing for 41 minutes, and we are on lap 27 and 51. Turn 1 is involving Norris and Piastri, no further action. And Hamilton trying to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Hamilton's passed Leclerc. No, Sainz has passed Hamilton. Sorry, brain fade there. Sainz has passed Hamilton, and now Leclerc passes Hamilton. So no further action between the McLarens, and the Ferraris now clear Lewis. Lewis box now.
Oh, there we go. Lewis boxed for mediums.
Although, take Perez out, just give us a yellow. No, he's boxing. Hamilton boxes. A lap too late, in my opinion. What are Mercedes strategy department doing today? Why are they leaving out there so long?
They're giving up.
Might as well have. Stupid decision. Stupid. Brand new mediums go out long, though. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that there's a safety car and he comes back into it. But we're losing out on time
2.8.
here. And he comes out behind the McLarens, but crucially ahead of Fernando Alonso, who's in hard tyres. So Lewis, like Bottas, Alonso's going to pass him. Oh, okay.
Alonso is just about ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
It's all roller coasters today with this race. You can't keep up with it. So Verstappen.
Don't forget, Josh. Sorry,
I was going to say Verstappen. 10 races in a row. Can he break an all-time record? Cough. Something. Choke. Fastest second sector of anybody. 29.202. Megan's noticed something and she's now investigating. Go on, Jess. What are you going to say?
I wonder if there's going to be a really good race in IndyCar later on at Portland.
I hope so. We need it. Hamilton Radio.
Well, a long way to go on this that time.
Well, other people have done it.
More than half distance. Yeah, that's fine. Most people have done it, so you're fine, Lewis. You're fine. And if there's a safety car, you'll catch up. You'll have fresher tyres. Lewis, just stay calm. We know what we're doing. Now Sainz, Leclerc and Perez coming in. Verstappen is 5 seconds ahead at the moment. The battle for second place is really thrilling. We just need Verstappen to be out. And it's an interesting race. Oh, hello. I'm just hearing some Tuscan Raiders have broken into the track and are shooting at Max Verstappen's wheels.
That's a lie.
Well, of course, Tuscan Raiders aren't real. As Hamilton versus Alonso. Hamilton on the inside gets ahead of Fernando. Star Wars, you know, Tusken Raiders.
Boba Fett made friends with them.
Boba Fett did make friends with them. Megan?
Ever so slightly, Max is somehow losing time.
Ever so slightly?
That's what I've been staring at.
Yeah.
I've been staring at the difference between Leclerc, Perez, Sainz and Hamilton with how much time each time they turn a corner they lose and gain.
Yeah.
And ever so slightly, the amount Max has goes down.
So it's getting worse.
But they all suddenly go up sometimes. Like right now, they're 7s and 9s. Though, he loses more time when at some point they lose time.
Keep an eye on that as Perez has a go on Leclerc towards turn 1. Leclerc goes defensive and Perez is going to try and force his way through, almost takes off his front wing. Perez was very late to the braking zone there at the Rettifilio. That's allowed Sainz a bit of breathing room, and now Perez right on the back of Charles Leclerc as we come through the Curve de Grande in towards the Dall'Orossi chicane, and now on board with Lando Norris having an attack on Alexander Albon round the outside of turn 1. Lando's on the grass. He just keeps it in, but he's got those hard tyres a little bit dirty.
Okay, I feel bad for cursing him now.
Piastri's right behind him as well, so it's not over yet. Still a race on. 24 laps to go.
Bottas hasn't gone off at all.
All we need is a late yellow. By the way, 24 laps to go. We're on the verge of breaking a record here. 1 hour 14 minutes. Where we could break a Monza record for the fastest ever Grand Prix completed. Just let you know. There's Lando locking up as well.
That's good.
I just want to have a look at that record now. It was fastest F1 race in history. Obviously, this is Grand Prix that have gone to full distance. Italy 2003. 1 hour 14 minutes and 19 seconds.
Well, if it's races that go to full distance, does this not count?
It does, because the race distance would have been changed back as Perez tries to go around the outside of Leclerc towards turn 1. Doesn't work out that time. As he'll get a cut back through the first chicane at the Rettifilio up towards Curve de Grande, and he's looking to the inside. Leclerc's put his car around the centre. Leclerc goes, okay, I'll go around the outside. Goes Perez, trying to get traction. Leclerc shuts him off. Perez lifting.
Oh.
And Leclerc was brake testing him, and Perez off the track. Leclerc giving him absolutely no room, and we know that Perez was lifting. He's properly fighting today. That's dirty from Charles.
What was he doing?
Lifting.
That was 2019 all over again.
It was.
Versus Hamilton.
Exactly the same. Watch this. Look, lifted. It's the same thing.
Lifted, boom.
We've seen that move before, as Omi said, 2019.
I think this is what people call karma.
No sign of Taylor Swift, though.
Nice.
Oh no.
Well, we do know all too well that Perez is going to try again on Charles Leclerc.
Well, that's why I can't really give throw.
She's not giving any space.
So,
you're going to go.
what you're saying, it's a blank space.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Down on the inside, Perez having a go on the inside line, this time of Leclerc coming on the inside line towards turn 1, pulls onto the left-hand side, pulls down again towards the pit wall. Perez on the inside line, gets ahead, and he gets ahead. Leclerc's going to try and fight back. He can't get through. Perez retakes third place away from Charles Leclerc. All the reputation that you knew from Charles Leclerc the previous lap around. Well, yeah, Perez knows how to get around it. Brilliantly done. Nicely done as well. And goes through into positions as well.
Reputation.
I know, couldn't resist it. Well, let's have a look then from Perez on the off-board camera. He got such a DRS train. It was like he was in the slipstream already, Jess, but he was just done before turn 1.
He was done before the braking zone. Absolutely brilliant from him.
And Leclerc tried to fight back in the braking zone. He braked later, but no luck, I'm afraid, there.
Nope, no luck, sadly.
There's Lando Norris holding off with Piastri in second position, the two teammates together. As they try and fight
Gasly's in the pits again.
Megan, you don't need to open Taylor Swift references. Believe me, I know quite a lot of them that we can drop in as well.
I don't.
And anyway, now's not the time to drop in Taylor Swift references. Do it in Singapore in 2 weeks' time. And there's a reason I'm saying do it in Singapore in 2 weeks' time as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Verstappen 6.7 seconds ahead. Perez now 2 seconds back to Sainz as they come through.
Ah, that could be so easily used.
Oh, back to December. Why?
Abu Dhabi.
Oh, right.
August.
Oh, there's a couple. I've had an idea for Singapore.
I have so many.
Singapore's the next race, isn't it?
Speak now, Carlos Sainz.
Okay, try your best.
He's out to defend.
So that was Carlos Sainz as well. I got Speak Now in as well. Taylor's version, of course. 1989's up next, anyway. Speaking of 1989,
What is the whole thing about Taylor's version and all that?
it's getting her songs back from licensing. 1989 was when Valtteri Bottas was born. Just to let you know. Same
And
age.
1989 was when Ferrari got a 1-2 in Monza.
Yeah.
1989.
Yep.
Well, if Verstappen, I just had to point out, it was around about lap 30s. It was in that distance when Senna was taken out by Riccardo Patrese in the Williams. So, just saying, it's a possibility here that there's a Williams towards the back. How much can we pay just for a safety car?
James Vowles.
125 for 240 from Verstappen.
I pay people in food.
This has been a great race.
Yeah, they're gonna need the food so they don't go over their cost cap with catering.
Is it free? That's the most thing that Red Bull have been saying this year with food. Is it free? Do we have to pay for it at the end of the year? Is it free?
That's because Red Bull have literally wasted all of their money with a car that's basically the same as last year.
Who puts £1 million on the same carvery in pasta that travels the world around? An extra £1 million on food?
Who eats £1 million
on food? I just
maybe in a lifetime, not in a
It's
week.
just- oh, I don't know. Not in all race
Getting really
weekends.
hot in here. Oh my god.
It's very hot in the UK right now as well.
Who are they feeding?
They've fed the entire paddock for a year. That's probably why.
That money could have gone to so
Look at
much
Ocon round the outside of Magnussen. Whoa! Ocon goes through with a great move round the outside of the Rettifilio. Magnussen just in the right wheel tracks. That is pure poetry. Somebody paint that in watercolours. Fantastic.
Get me a new set of water sticks.
So there's Perez. He's closing in as well. Just changing in. It's lap 34. There's 20 laps to go. We could be on for the fastest F1 race in history. Wow.
Leclerc's certainly jumping around a lot.
Yeah, to answer your question, Josh T, it is 100% distance because the race was reduced by laps. So it still met the 100% distance. It just gets changed. So it still would be the fastest ever race in F1 history.
When did Perez?
Because it's from when the clock starts. That's how long the distance is. And the 2 hour clock started with 51 laps to go. So ergo, it's a 51 lap race to 100% of the new scheduled distance. So yeah. That's the rules. So this could be the fastest ever race in F1 history. We've been going for 50 minutes and we've done 35 of the 51 laps to go. There is 19 laps left. And this is Lando Norris closing in again on Albon, and this is Albon radio.
Doing a great job at the minute, managing them nicely. McLaren's starting to struggle.
Albon in 6th place, doing nicely. Of course, the scene 12 months ago where Nick de Vries managed to get a 9th place finish on debut in a Williams, and yet he was sacked from Toro Rosso, or AlphaTauri. Yeah, and make that one make sense. But good stuff right now from Williams. All eyes are on you as you continue your resurgence in Formula One.
Not going to be last this season. Touch wood.
Far from it. They're 7th in the Constructors' Championship. It's Haas, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri behind them. Norris?
Okay, Lando, we think Albon is struggling quite a lot here, there, as you see.
Yeah, I see the same as you see.
So Albon's being said you're doing good, the McLarens are starting to struggle. Lando's saying that Albon's starting to struggle and you're doing good. Really strange. And yeah, another Verstappen win isn't a
Somebody's
great
got
race.
to be struggling.
Me, to keep up with all of this. That's who's struggling, us in the box, especially with this heat as well. No air, we need aircon in this commentary box. Somebody get us an aircon unit.
I'm fine.
Bradley Lord's on the pit wall.
Boxed and had to come through Alonso, and then hopefully Lewis can
eke out that medium tyre in a way that gives him enough performance differential when he gets up to the McLarens and to Albon to make some moves. So let's wait and see what what the next sort of 16 laps hold.
He probably hasn't taken off quite as quickly as I thought he might on those fresh medium tyres. Is he in some management mode? We heard he was protecting the left rear.
Yeah, they need some management at the start of the stint, Martin, to get them to the end on what is a pretty long sort of half-race stint. But hopefully he's able to, there's no one better than Lewis at eking out that tyre life and able to extend a stint and keep goodness in them for when he needs it. So hopefully he'll be able to do exactly that as others in front also push towards the end of their tyre life on that hard.
Meanwhile, George Russell in 5th has that 5-second penalty. Shouldn't affect him too much because Alex is 15 seconds further back. But that's a frustrating penalty for him to pick up, tangling with Esteban Ocon a bit.
Yeah, I think he came out of the pits on, relatively cool set of hards, and they just, locked up a little bit into turn 1. So, but as you say, it's probably going to prove to be academic in the end because he's still sort of pulling away from Albon, and hopefully we'll, be able to maintain that gap to the finish.
Any thought of saying to him straight away, give that place back, or did you not know about it?
We'd seen he'd gone straight on, hadn't seen the detail of it, and he was already a long way up the road, so to be honest, he'd have lost more than 5 seconds by giving it back, I think.
Bradley, thanks ever so much.
Bradley Lord there on the Mercedes pit wall as Albon is still ahead of Norris, but Norris and Piastri now closed him up as well, and they're getting very, very close to each other. Where have my co-commentators gone? Hamilton.
Because I don't know how this tire's going to last. Others have made it as far on the medium tyre.
Lewis
Hamilton moaning again, saying we're screwed, but he's not. But there's Jess.
9 laps
Where's
in.
Josh as well? So
Different to get something, I think.
everyone's disappeared. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
What have you made of the
sorry,
race
I
then?
was just getting a drink, so I was thirsty.
No worries at all. Take the opportunity. I wish I had taken the opportunity actually to get a drink from that one, because I'm running out. Omi, what have you made of this race then from the pit lane?
It has been a very, very good race, actually. A very, very good one, even though now Red Bull are underway once again to victory. Verstappen just currently not making any kind of mistakes. He's having a brilliant race out in front. Everything is going right for the Dutch driver right now, but yeah. Hopefully we're going to get some action. Hopefully we're going to get more one safety car. We had a lot of safety cars in all our other series, but I said, can we maybe get one in F1? So hopefully we get one in F1 in a bit. But yeah, it's been a good race.
Well, someone said that it's not a good race in the chat. Excuse me, just because Verstappen
2
is
seconds,
winning.
2 seconds, Jess. Here comes Lando Norris. He's going to try on the outside line on Albon into the braking zone. It's very close together. It's going to be...
again!
Lando has to cut the corner, and he takes it through. Albon will be let back through on the inside line, but Lando had to let it through.
Someone's in the chat, another Verstappen win is not a great race. Actually, even if Verstappen is winning, it's still been a great race, because there's been battles everywhere.
It's been a better race, a lot better race. And Monza delivered.
Yeah,
but,
it's not just about the lead.
Yeah.
So if you're just watching to see someone else win, and not about everyone else, then you've got the wrong sport, my friend.
I do agree it's getting a bit tiresome to watch the same driver
Yeah,
win.
exactly, yeah, but...
You forced me off. I was completely alongside.
Albon pushed him off. How do you read that one, Jess? I think that's enough racing room, and it was Lando who decided against it.
It was Lando who cut the corner, not Albon.
Yeah, that'll be no further action in my opinion. It can't be forced. There was enough racing room there, I think, to go through, Josh.
Was there a bit of carbon fibre?
I think there was, yeah.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, Lando's not looking too good there on the wheels. Such a weird race, this. Such a weird race. As they come through. So Norris will have another go on Albon, this time down towards turn 1 at the Retifilia with the DRS open. Piastri is coming in too. Look at the big blob that is the rear of that Williams on the car. It's such an unusual rear chassis size to take it through, but I think Ted's in the pits.
Half seconds, pretty...
No, Ted's not there. It's Crofty. Silent like Ted. Okay. Hamilton wants to box for softs. That's an interesting call.
What's the gap?
4.2 to Alonso, but 12 seconds to Sargent, so he's got enough time to box and get ahead of them both. So Hamilton wants to box for softs. That's what I've just been told over the communication areas. So Hamilton wants to box. We'll keep an eye on that. But
Box door and thing.
Yeah, pushing confirmed.
right, so Lando's coming in now. So they are blue flag for Magnussen. So and he's been lapped now. So they are now starting to think about overtakes with tyres. So this is not just Hamilton doing it. Everybody's starting to think what could happen here and how can we change it around. There is how many laps to go? Oh, it's still saying 14. Oh, it's still.
We got 11. We got 11.
Yeah,
laps.
it's on the race net on the T. Oh, hang on, that's Magnussen slowing to get out of the way. Yeah. If you're on the T feed watching along with the timings, it says it's 14 out of 53 laps remaining, but it's not because it's 11 laps to go. So I've been thinking about it wrong this entire time. Looking at that, I forgot to minus the 3. So it's 11 laps to go at this race, coming in on 10. Wow. Ted.
And they've gone back into the garage. Nice try, McLaren. Didn't work.
And Hamilton's on the inside now, passing Piastri. Hamilton now on the medium compound, making them work. Piastri on the inside line. Hamilton locks up, and they both run wide. Piastri didn't give him enough room. Lewis should get the place back because Piastri had to go off track to keep position and force Lewis off. So Piastri, in my book, needs to give the place to Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton had it sorted. Jeff says extremely tiresome, Josh. Extremely, at least when Williams were playing. Oh, and here comes Perez. Nice spot there, Romy. Here comes Perez on for the second position on Sainz. Remember 1-2. Sainz goes to the inside line. Perez trying to go on the outside. Can't work it towards turn 1. Oh, and he nearly hits him.
Oh.
Perez. Oh, look at Leclerc. Leclerc's coming back. Real crazy stuff, this one.
This has been pretty much quite good, apart from Verstappen leading, but there we go.
Here comes Perez around the outside of De La Roggia, and Leclerc does his signature move. Reputation will precede you as he comes back through. This is great stuff.
This is really good.
Hamilton trying to have a go again at Piastri around the outside. Is going left, going right, down to the Rettifilio. Cuts back at the exit. They'll have the outside line coming through Curve de Grande. Piastri sliding, giving him enough room. Hamilton now side by side. He'll have the inside into De La Roggia. That's what he wants. Piastri eking ahead. Piastri forcing him, just giving him enough racing room. Hamilton late on the brakes. Oh, and Hamilton hits Piastri! Hamilton hits with Piastri! Are they both okay? Yes! Piastri got no room. Broken front wing.
That was lucky.
And Hamilton
Lewis has to let Piastri through.
Yeah, Hamilton came across too much, and they made contact into the braking zone. Look, it were 10 to go. Looky, they're both okay. Wow.
Bloody hell! Oh my God.
I want to see. And Piastri, the broken wing. Here comes Perez. Perez now on the attack. Down to the braking zone. Once again, it's been noted by the steward. Sainz goes to the right to defend. Perez to the left-hand side. Can't go through. Will he do the Lewis Hamilton? Yes, he does. Trying to find a way through. And it's been noted by the stewards for causing a collision. Piastri and Hamilton. So Hamilton might get a penalty here. Forced his way through and caused contact. That's not the way it needs to be. Sainz just trying to hold off for Perez. And Verstappen is in clean air. He's got Gasly ahead of him. Wow. This race, it's chaotic. It's ever-changing. And Piastri in. And evermore a disaster for him.
Wing.
Completely gone, isn't it? Ted.
That was a little bit needless. It's thrown away any chance of points. Nice nose change from the McLaren mechanics. That's all they could do. Looks like Hamilton hasn't sustained any significant damage.
Take us through it, Jess. This is on board with Piastri.
So that is Piastri Hamilton on the left-hand side, and look at that. They both made contact, so that's a bit...
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that.
That was a bit close. Could have been anyone's fault, but I think it was Lewis's fault there. But it might be my personal opinion. TLMH, don't kill me.
Lewis cut him off. Lewis completely cut him off there. And here comes Perez once more. Perez on the attack with the DRS open as he comes down the straight. Sainz having to weave left and right. Perez is in a much better position now for second position. He's going to go to the inside of the Rettifilio, but that's blocked off by Sainz. Moving under braking. Can only do that once. Perez is going to go around the outside, and Perez has to cut the track. Perez has to cut the track and still gets through. Lifts off, and Leclerc should have hit accelerator, but he too had an issue at the exit of the corner. That was not on.
Leclerc should have taken advantage there.
He had to back off. Now under investigation. Hamilton is under investigation for causing a collision. Perez.
He's moving really late on braking.
Yeah, but it's not affecting you, Checo. It's not affecting you. It's nothing that has to be a problematic situation. It's just normal racing lines. I don't know.
Normal racing, yeah.
Here we go again then.
Red Bull aren't used to racing properly.
That's true, Josh.
I know we normally say that Verstappen's normally a crybaby, but I'm going to have to say, Perez has been on one today.
He has.
Sainz.
He's been saying about stupid
I
things.
don't know what he tried there.
I don't know what he was trying there as well. Sainz trying to break the toe. Go on, Jess.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were in mid before. But let's hear from Bradley Lord. No, actually, we're not. Because Perez is going to have an attack here again. And I don't want to hear from Bradley Lord of the communications director at Red Bull. I want to commentate on this action as Perez with the DRS down towards the Rettifilio once again. He'll get in the slipstream. Sainz again will go defensive. Perez looks to the outside line. He's going to hold his tone. Sainz looking left and right. And he's still keeping it right in the centre. Perez radio.
He did the same to Max. Just see him off. We've reported.
That's Hugh Bird.
And that was Hugh Bird, so it's been reported for moving under braking. So Sainz could lose a position here for P2. Hopefully not, but Perez still trying to find a way through in this crazy Italian Grand Prix. We're below 57 minutes with only a couple of laps to go. So this is going to be the fastest F1 race in history at this point. Norris right behind. He hasn't come into the pit lane. He's attacking Albon still. This is over 6th position. This has been, and it's a 5-second time penalty for Lewis Hamilton for causing a collision as Lando Norris to the outside of Alexander Albon into the Dalla Roggia chicane. Albon goes low on the brakes and keeps the position. Lando can do nothing, but Lewis Hamilton with a 5-second time penalty as he comes after these two for 6th. Hamilton's going to try and through. Still in the battle, Piastri, fastest lap. Lando makes a mistake. Hamilton's going to have... Perez is going to have an attack as well down the start-finish straight once more. And here we go again towards turn 1. Perez on the attack. DRS. Sainz goes defensive. Perez round the outside. Into the braking zone, side by side. Perez holds his ground. Side is off again. Perez cuts the track for a second time and keeps the lead. He hasn't given it back. He's not giving it back to Sainz. And Perez with damage. And Sainz round the outside.
Again.
And Sainz lets it. Sainz back up. What is happening here? Well, this has been a crazy race so far. Hamilton with a 5-second time penalty for hitting Piastri. Now he's going to try and have a go at Hamilton. Into the braking zone, round the outside, and Hamilton takes Norris. Beautiful. Is that water in the lemonade?
In turn 1.
Have you put water in, not lemonade?
You told me water.
It's lemonade. You've put half and half. It's half and half.
Bottas collision noted, and we didn't even see it. So
Megan's tried to poison me with half a lemonade and half a water.
First of all, we have that when we're sick. So
He's only in a group, man. Come on. We cannot race like this.
And look at Leclerc coming in.
You legit told me to put water in it.
Fair dues, fair dues. It's not to right.
Leclerc's one on the back of this as well as we head towards the parabolic chicane.
And here comes Perez once again, then in the battle for second. Sainz goes left, Coles to the right. Perez is staying with like a magnet side by side towards the Rettifilio. Sainz is going to lose out. Perez takes it. Sainz locks up. Perez goes defensive. Sergio Perez takes second place here at Monza. It's a Red Bull 1-2. Sargent and Bottas under investigation for causing a collision. And now is Leclerc going to take Sainz's dream away of a podium at Monza. 8, how many to go? 5. Wow. But it's a Red Bull 1-2 again, and here comes Hamilton for Albon now. This should be easy for Lewis on the mediums round the outside. Albonio keeps it. Hamilton keeps it now on the slipstream back. Come on, Williams. Hold off from Lewis. But how? It doesn't matter. Hamilton's got a time penalty. Forgot about that. Hamilton's got a 5-second time penalty anyway. So, yeah, just keep him to line for a couple of laps. No worries. Because, yeah, Hamilton went around the outside and clipped Piastri. Piastri with a broken wing. and nearly went to the barrier.
Why is Ocon out?
Ocon is in the pit lane, and is he out of the race?
It says on there out.
Ocon is out of the race. Ocon has retired. When did he retire?
Since when?
It just says on there out.
2 laps ago.
Yeah, we know that.
Here comes Charles
in the pit
Leclerc.
lane.
Leclerc to the inside line, and he overtakes Carlos Sainz for 3rd position. Wow.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
No, he must be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, car is locked up. Sainz is going to go around the outside. Oh, come on, Carlos.
Please don't mess up,
Go,
Ferrari.
go, go, Carlos, go, Carlos, go, Carlos. Come on, Carlos. Round the outside. Leclerc's on the inside. But come on, Carlos. I want you to have this podium. It's been your weekend. It's been your weekend for Ferrari. He locks up. Contact. The 2 Ferraris just burn wheels. And Sainz goes back through, and Albon versus Hamilton.
The locks actually did him a favour.
Hamilton round the outside.
Hamilton to the inside. Outside.
And he's got him. He's got him. But Albon will get the place later on with penalties. But Sainz keeps
Unless
third.
Hamilton will get the gap.
And Lando's on it.
Oh, there's Norris.
That deafened me, Jess.
Norris
Never
to the
mind
inside.
Megan.
I have it down.
Never mind Megan. You just deafened me, Jess. And look at Lando.
Sorry.
Lando trying to have an attack now. That was a very long pause there, Jess.
But I need to turn myself down. Hang on a minute.
That's all right. It was just because you were pausing.
Red Bull 1, 2, 3, 4, Ferrari 5, 6.
Oh, wow.
Mercedes.
It's 2 by 2, Jess, at the moment between them all. And Ferrari are going to be really angry the fact that they've lost out on a possible win here today. I'm going to have to drink this.
Good.
Go on,
Look at
Sainz.
Leclerc.
Defend.
Oh, Leclerc's rear locked! Oh my God, Leclerc's rear tyres locked into turn 1 and Sainz just keeps ahead again.
You didn't want to give me a heart attack today or something?
Giving me a heart attack at this rate as well, blimey. So, fastest ever F1 race on record when that went to full distance was 1 hour 14 minutes 19 seconds. We're currently at 1 hour 8 minutes 50 seconds.
It's going to be close.
We've got 8 minutes to do 6 laps. Doable, doable. Oh, wow, that's Hamilton around the outside of Albon. This race is just crazy. And this is it.
I know, it's awesome.
Go on, Jess.
I know, it's been great.
So 1 hour, I'm just looking up on the board there, to come in. We're nearly there. 4.3 minutes remaining. We might just do it. 3 to go. Yeah, we're going to do it. This is going to be the fastest F1 race in history.
By a minute or so.
We are now at 1 hour and 10. Oh, it's tight that, isn't it? We're at 1 hour 10.
It's cutting it fine.
It was 1:14 what?
1 hour, 14 minutes, 19 seconds. And here we go again. Sainz in third. Leclerc trying to go on the outside. Sainz locks up, just makes the apex. Leclerc battling. They're giving the Tifosi something to watch, but my goodness me, this is crazy. And Hamilton has just told Mercedes that he didn't leave Piastri enough space. So that was the radio message that gave him the penalty. Hamilton admitted it on the radio.
Well, at least he admits so.
Yeah, that's
Well,
an honest
yeah,
cop.
That's
fair
a
play,
riff.
Hamilton, fair play.
Wow.
You're owning up to your mistake. Oh, Norris has passed Albon.
And
Norris
Norris
could be for 6th here.
Oh, and Leclerc sliding the rear tyre. And look at that. These two battling. Perez is 10
Sainz.
seconds ahead of them.
Guys, let's bring this home.
Yeah, Sainz just says, team orders, please. Team orders. Let's bring it home.
Either way, they're getting a
Nothing stupid. Nothing stupid. But Leclerc's pride is at stake.
Squabble.
Yeah. Leclerc's pride is at stake here as well.
He can take a beating of his pride.
And Sainz will attack. Piastri's past Lawson. We haven't really talked about it, but look at Sargent. He's in 11th. Sargent's had a cracking race. And Lawson, two 13th in a row. And he's passed Piastri again with a battle.
He's got 12th now.
Is it team orders
Now
at Ferrari, or are they going to take each other out? Sainz goes defensive. Leclerc's going to try and pull around the outside line towards turn 1.
No.
Sainz will have it. Yeah, Leclerc goes in and tries to get the cut back. He'll get a better exit, but this is ridiculous from Ferrari.
They've got to have team orders. They've got to have team orders.
Oh, this is silly, Josh, isn't it? This is dangerous and silly. Omi is watching now through his hands.
Yeah, can we just keep it clean? Can we just have a Ferrari on a podium, please? And just make the
Honestly.
happy for once? Thank you.
Like, literally, they were so close to contact earlier on as well. 2 times, one down at the Rettifilia, then at the Della Roggia chicane as well. But now, literally, they both are so close and they're almost making contact every time.
Piastri around the outside. This is the battle with Lawson. Oh, what was Piastri doing? I think Piastri is, of course, for half of these incidents, you know, in this race.
Probably.
2 laps to go. What's the clock on? Oh, 13, 12.
And no risk, race until the end, no risk.
No risk. Team orders. And Logan Sargent gets a penalty. Final lap. Final lap. We're going to be in the fastest F1 race ever, everybody. 5 seconds will cause any collision.
Knowing us, 1 second off.
Yeah, 20 seconds. I hope he doesn't, you know, showboat the line. Max needs to properly floor it. 1 hour, 14 minutes and 19 seconds. As Leclerc looks on the inside, looks right. Oh! Leclerc locks up! And what was that on the final lap with Carlos Sainz? He almost took them both out. No risk. Charles Leclerc, your ego needs a bruising, my friend. You are not #1 at Ferrari. They do not have #1s.
You're #1 in that Priest's heart, but you're not #1 there.
Right now, Carlos Sainz has had a better weekend than you, Charles. Just accept the loss. Just accept the loss. That was stupid. Don't know. Don't know anymore. Perez, though, second. 4 seconds he's closed down to Max, who's coasting. 1 hour, 13 minutes. It's the fastest in history. He'll come out of the last 2 corners. It's getting close. Coming in, he'll do it. Records are there to be broken, said Michael Schumacher. 7 victories in a row, he did. Match 9 apiece. Sebastian Vettel did it 10 years ago. Max Verstappen sets a new record in Formula 1. It's the perfect 10. Nobody has ever done that before. 10 Grand Prix victories in a row. Perez is second. A Red Bull 1-2 in the sea of the Tifosi. And Carlos Sainz holds off for 3rd place in a thrilling weekend for him. Leclerc 4th. Russell 5th. It will be Lewis Hamilton, who with a 5-second penalty will still be 6th. Albon 7th, back ahead of Norris, who's fighting to the line. Come on, Albon! Push it hard towards the line. And it is Alexander Albon in P7. Lando Norris P8. Alonso gets the points in 9th. And Valtteri Bottas will finish in 10th place. But records are broken.
Much better race from Alfa Romeo.
Records are broken for Red Bull Racing. Max Verstappen, the perfect 10.
7.4 ahead.
The curse is broken.
Okay, Max, you've done it. And a little bit of history to go with it.
Not too bad, not too bad. Well done, guys. Another win, unbelievable. And a nice one too as well.
Max, that is mighty. 10 races in a row, you're on your own, mate, now. That's history. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well done.
Yeah, that's that's a nice stat.
Yeah, you can be proud of that one. Yeah. Stroll in the park, some might say, Max. Mate, that's remarkable. Be proud.
Well, now he likes...
We need the time. We need the time. What was it? It hasn't come up yet with Max. There he is. First ever driver to win 10 consecutive F1 Championship Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, a new record. And oh, we knew about that. A new record in Formula 1. 10 consecutive Grand Prix wins for Max Verstappen. Formation all the way home. Here's Perez.
I'd say that's a pretty wicked job. You fought for that one. Kept it clean. Awesome. Yeah, good job, guys. Nice result. Yeah, good job. Well done, guys.
It was a great drive from Sir.
And it is the fastest in history. I just need to see it along the time. I don't know what the clock stopped at. Look at the timing screen now. 1:27. So 6 seconds was the gap. First ever F1 team to win 15 consecutive F1 Championship Grand Prix, Red Bull Racing. More hat tricks, more records coming through. And yes, you're wearing the Williams top. Albon, 7th. More regular points. Williams truly are back up there, aren't they now?
Yeah, they are. I'm very happy for Albon. I kind of wish he got 6th, but 7th is better than scoring no points. And, well, Williams have done a lot better in the leadership of James Vowles. Science Team Radio.
Tires. Good job, guys.
Tires. 5-second time penalty for Oscar Piastri, which drops him to 11th, from 11th down. So that and Sargent got one too. So I think that puts Joe up there.
Is that Oh, that's I don't know. We don't know yet.
No, Joe. Lawson. 11th. Lawson.
Fair play.
Yes. Lawson will finish 11th, as far as I can tell.
Right, that's my cue.
Megs, what have you made of the race?
It has been interesting. Max has yet again behaved slightly like a child.
10.
That is a lot, and he should be proud of that. Though, can someone please win next week?
Just like to point out that Lawson has driven better than Tsunoda in both these races now, and he's also driven better than what these other two teammates did.
Maybe he should be the one in the seat.
Do you know, I agree with you. Right, cheers, Megan. See you next time I'm in Singapore. See you in 2 weeks.
Lawson's driven quite incredible the last few weeks.
I'm trying to work out exactly what the points is between it, what the timing was. We've been in the box for the longest time, but I'm not actually sure what the distance is between.
Well, hold on, because what's the time limit? 90 minutes, is that right?
2 hour limit. We had to 1 hour, 14-minute better race strategy.
2 hours.
Yeah. Driver of the day is Carlos Sainz. Go on, Justy.
Let me get this right. If this is the fastest, we've just broken 3 records in one F1 race.
Yes. 1 hour, 14 minutes.
Red Bull to win 50 consecutive.
Sorry, 1 hour, 14 minutes and 19 seconds. That's the shortest F1 time in history. Because there was no red flag.
Red Bull to win 15 consecutive Grand Prix. Max Verstappen to win 10. And then we got the
fastest
record
ever
for
race.
Yep, that's 3. Is that what you're referring to, Justin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
What was the clock?
Fastest race.
We need the full
15
results. That's what we need. We need full results to know what it was.
We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that until the podium.
Yeah, we might get it on the multi-screen, which I've switched to. So we'll stay on air until we find out what that time is, because I want to know what the time is. But right now, we are going to cross over. The championship's incorrect there, so we'll change that now as well to the full race results, because that's what's happened in this race. Lap by lap as well. What's happened here? Lap by lap's
Ferrari
disappeared.
have overtaken Aston Martin in the constructors.
Wow. Wow. And they were so strong at the start of the year, Ferrari, Aston Martin as well.
What's happened to Aston?
Completely gone, hasn't it? There's the full results then, as well as the side-by-side coverage with Becky Hart taking us through that as well on the tweet deck. Let's hear then from our race winner, shall we? Our top 3 are speaking with the 2016 world champion, Nico Rosberg, who's won here before.
Rosberg has the mic in his hand.
Oh, looks like Bagnaia has escaped serious injury. That's great news.
Oh, Carlos, what an incredible Formula One race we saw out there, and especially also thanks to your defending. I mean, that was just unbelievable. How hard was that out there?
Very tough, very tough. It cannot get any tougher than what it was today. Honestly, the whole race pushing very, very hard to keep the Red Bulls behind, and that obviously made me use the rear tires a lot, trying to keep up with them and trying to keep them behind. And in the end, I end up paying a bit the price with the rear tires, but I did everything I could to defend with all the cars that I could, and brought it home in the end in P3, but it was a tough one for sure.
And that battle with your teammates, oh my goodness, that was close.
It was tough, hard racing. It's always been a pleasure to race Charles whenever we've had the chance, and today was the same. Great racer, same as Max and Checo. You know, we have fun out there today, and I hope you guys enjoyed also.
I think, I mean, the Red Bull car was just too fast again today. So can you still be happy with that P3 here at Monza, the home race?
I think we just need to keep working on our pace, on our tire understanding. I think today it was obvious that we were wearing the tires a bit more and we were just lacking a bit of pace. But it's definitely a big step forward compared to Zandvoort. This weekend we've been best of the rest, which is a good result for the team given the circumstances.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
Checo, what a great catch-up you did in that race. Can you be happy with P2?
I think it was basically the maximum we could have achieved today. It was so difficult to overtake, a lot harder than we really thought. I think we were lacking some Australian speed. We were having some great exits out of Parabolica, but still it was not enough. I was most of the time 0.2, 0.3, and 0.2 will give me a chance, but 0.3 I will not even get close. So yeah, to get through Charles and then to get through Carlos, it was pretty insane because I had to use a lot of my tires.
And I mean, you were trying everything, being creative, trying outside lines in Parabolica and everything. Did you at times think, damn, this is not going to work, or you were really confident?
Yeah, I really thought at times, especially in the beginning, you know, like I couldn't get close to Charles because we were stuck in the DRS. I started to put the pressure on Charles, and he lost the DRS from Carlos. And then, yeah, it was also a lot of fighting with him, and in the end, we managed to get both of them.
Your pace in the race when you're clear, you know, is really looking good all weekend. Do you think you're going to be able to find some progress now for the rest of the season to get closer to Max?
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of progress on the setup side. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable in the car. So I do expect that we will see the best form in the next races.
We look forward to that then. Good.
Thanks.
Best of luck. Max Verstappen, unbelievable once again, another record, huh? 10 in a row. Does that mean something to you? Is that special?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I never would have believed that was possible, but we had to work for it today, and that made it definitely a lot more fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at one of those moments battling with Carlos all the way through the beginning of the race. How hard was that?
Yeah, we had good pace. I think we were good on the tires, but they had a lot of top speed, and it was so hard to get close and get a move on into turn one, so I had to force him into a mistake. And luckily, it came at some point where he locked up, and then I had better traction, of course, out of turn two, and basically from there onwards we could again do our own race.
Did you doubt at one point, like, oh man, maybe I'm not going to be able to win this today?
I was just trying to stay patient. It was still a very long race. I could see they were struggling a lot with the rear tires, so I just had to pick my moment.
And after that, just awesome car, felt great, yeah?
Everything felt good. We had to nurse a little issue at the end, but we had luckily, of course, a gap behind, so I could easily back off.
Amazing. So congratulations again to win here in Monza. Very special.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
An absolutely insane race, and we're just catching our breath now up here in the box. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What did you make of it then, Naomi?
A very good race. A really, really great race. A lot of action came our way. So, yeah, really, really happy with that one. And I really did enjoy that one, to be honest. A lot of action came through in that one. We had a lot of moves, a lot of overtaking, so it was a great one.
Let's hear from the drivers in the cool-down room. If we can hear much from them, that is. Verstappen leads 364 points. Perez 219 behind. Mad race, let's hear from them. But Ferrari going nuts, the Tifosi. There they are. All going nuts.
Antes, yo me movía antes de la frenada y luego ya frenada.
Speaking Spanish, of course, because Perez and Carlos. And here's Max, 10 wins in a row, never off the podium this year. Latest podcast room.
I felt sorry for you. He was sliding like crazy.
You see, we were there rear. Crazy.
I mean, in a way, like the deck of course is higher, but the top speed saved you many times. You had no kickflip. He was just cancelling.
So tight, eh? I mean, we're racing at 340.
I could just hear the Tifosi for Carlos. It's ridiculous.
He went for it, yeah. Nearly took it. It was hard. I mean, I didn't enjoy it because I was defending, but matches were good.
How does Max...
What a race. What a race that was. Before we go onto the podium, the Tifosi have invaded the track, as we knew they would. Josh, what did you make of that one?
Absolutely insane. An incredible, incredible race, as always it is here at Monza, and there are all of the Tifosi, which is great to see. And, well, that ends the Monza curse, of course.
Yep.
But will the Monza curse strike again next year with Max Verstappen? We will have to see.
Oh, and someone's nicking the advertising boards already. So that's there they go. Two people are. Jess is on mute. There you go, Jess. Jess, have you got new headphones? I've just noticed. They look different compared to normal.
I switched them around.
Ah.
I have two, so I switched them around today.
I think I'm going to change for shorts for later on. It's so warm. Listen to the Tifosi though, as they are cheering a home podium. Ferrari podium number 792. 792 podiums for Ferrari. For Carlos Sainz, podium number 15 of his F1 career, his first of the season as well. Sergio Perez is second, podium number 32 of his career. Max Verstappen wins, podium number 91, win number 47, his 10th win in a row, his 12th win of the season, Red Bull's 106th win, and the official theme of What an amazing race. Max, why we keep focusing on Kelly Piquet, I don't know. She's the last person we want to be seeing down there in the pit lane. 10 races running. Max Verstappen is undefeatable. 12 wins this year. Red Bull, 14 wins this season. A total of 15 in a row. Mohammed Ben Sulayem presents the gold medal to Max Verstappen for the race win. There's a lot of boos, but you've got to respect Red Bull's dominance. It is so impressive. Another Constructors' Trophy. Red Bull are undefeated in 2023. Undefeated. Sergio Perez finishes P2. We'll throw that trophy up high. Another amazing weekend for him. He had to fight for it this time, though. The only Red Bull to find trouble here. Max has never been off the podium, but listen to the Tifosi for Carlos Sainz. They love him and he loves them. A sea of red. And now in Monza, the best podium of the year, it's champagne time! Let the cannons go off, the confetti fly, the champagne drench everyone. An amazing race here at Monza. The Tifosi loving every second of it. We loved every second of it. Yes, it's same old in Formula One. It's Red Bull 1-2, Max for the 10th time. Red Bull for the 15th time in a row. But there's no denying the love and the respect for Carlos Sainz. A podium for the first time at Monza as a Tifosi driver. Definitely a Ferrari. He needed to be there. It was his weekend. Fastest in practice 2 and 3, fastest Q2 and Q3. But Max, fastest FP1, fastest in Q1, fastest in the race. A weekend shared between the two, Perez interrupting in the middle. But an unforgettable weekend here in Monza. The curse lifted, the streak continues, but will it end at the most challenging circuit of them all? Marina Bay is next, and the Singapore Grand Prix waits. The toughest race on the calendar. Is that where Red Bull will sink or swim? Here's the results then from the Grand Prix of Italy. Max Verstappen is victorious. Sergio Perez finishes in second. Carlos Sainz rounds out the podium in third. Fourth place for Charles Leclerc. George Russell is fifth. Lewis Hamilton sixth. Alexander Albon is seventh. Lando Norris is eighth. Fernando Alonso ninth. Valtteri Bottas rounds out the points-paying positions in 10th. Liam Lawson is 11th with Oscar Piastri in 12th place. Here's the race result. Seeing on the screen, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz, but is it the fastest ever F1 race in history? 1 hour 13 minutes!
13 it is!
Yes! Yes! 1 hour 13 minutes and 41 seconds, the fastest F1 race in history. 3 records broken. Yes! I interrupted the top 10 there. I'll read it through again. Liam Lawson has been progressed up to 11th place with Piastri and Sargent's penalties dropping them to 12th and 13th. Zhou is 14th, Gasly 15th, Stroll is 16th, Hülkenberg and Magnussen were lapped, and out of the race went Ocon and Tsunoda. Well, it's the craziness of Singapore next. Jess, what did you make of that race?
I really enjoyed it. Best of the worst, I think. But the toughest calendar track of them all, Singapore, will be up next with the removal of the chicane once again to make it a brand new circuit, technically. But will it deliver with overtakes? I don't know, but we will have to wait and see.
And of course, it's back-to-back with the Japanese Grand Prix a week later. That's coming up 2 weeks' time. We'll be live for Singapore. We can't wait for that one. There's a lot going on in Singapore, and I really am quite excited about it. Josh T, so much action once more. Italian Grand Prix delivered. Is that the race of the year? Or have you seen the Dutch Grand Prix yet? I think that was quite a good one.
That was an absolutely amazing race. But 2 back-to-back, right at the top for this season with Dutch and Italian Grand Prix. But it's difficult to choose which one, actually.
It is. It's a hard two to cover because it was 2 completely different ones as well. Let's see if Omi's got an opinion who's down in the pits for us this race. Omi, what do you think?
Well, definitely these are the best races of the season. But it's a hard one to actually say because the Dutch GP obviously had just frantic chaos, but also at the same time it was a bit boring in the middle. But this one was just constant action as well for the lead, and it just kept us excited because there was always something going on near the top. So it's a hard one, so I can't really help you out with that too much.
Oscar Piastri got the fastest lap at 1:25.593. Keeps it together. Max Verstappen, though, 10 times a winner. That's it then for us here. More action coming up, though, because we've got IndyCar coming up later. We're on Grid Network, YouTube, JB Motorsports, Twitch, and also we'll be on USON as well. I need to ask Josh T for a favour in a minute about all that to come through. Yep.
Another one.
Yeah. This time it's Mixler coming through. Otherwise, Megan might hate me to come in. So it's going to be a lot of fun. My thanks to Josh. My thanks to Jess. My thanks to Omi. My thanks to Megan as well. And everyone on the team this weekend. It's been another classic one. Okay, then. We know. Same old, same old. It is Max Verstappen. But still, no one can deny the domination is real. Will they sink or swim at Marina Bay? We'll find out. 2 weeks' time is the Singapore Grand Prix. But in a country of red, it's not the one you were thinking. Red Bull. 1-2 once more. Thank you very much for your company. We'll see you next time in Singapore. Bye-bye.